Well, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Truth Be Told, where we find the facts and tell it straight to you. I'm going to work on that a little bit. That was kind of off the top. I think it'll work. But I know what will definitely work is getting our guests on this evening. We've got Platinum Sparkles. How you doing?
Hello,
Got
good.
Joey as well. Amy will be
Correct. I'm
joining
sick
us.
of winning.
You're sick of winning? I am too. Can we stop this train at the next exit, please? So Amy will be joining us a little bit later, but for now, we'll get this show on the road. Our first topic for this evening was I wanted to give a brief shout out to Tony Dong, been on the show before, fan of the show as well. He runs his the Dumb Money Dispatch over on LinkedIn. Oh, hey, look, there's Amy.
Amy.
How are you doing?
Hello.
Just in time. We didn't even get started.
Missed nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh, I don't think it didn't, because you were already live. It doesn't let me stream it.
That is correct. Once we go live, then it doesn't connect it. So all you have to do is
Wah,
just tell
wah.
people to go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Don't forget.
Yeah, exactly. We are up to 110 subs, so keep it trucking.
Hell yeah, let's go.
We're already a tenth of the way to where we were. He kind of went over some different things, but one thing I wanted to talk about is he was talking about single stock stupidity and volatility roulette. He was talking about some of these leveraged ETFs that, Amy, I know we've had someone who had a problem understanding how leveraged ETFs operate and how bad they are.
What do you mean, like the triple, like the ones that just decay?
Yes, exactly. Why don't you maybe give us a brief summary of our dear friend Spencer's
Which one was he like?
He was the 3X, the 3X
TLT, right?
Yep, 3X long TLT, which I think was TMF.
TMF, yeah. So I actually never looked up the prospectus on that, so I don't know what the structure of it is, but I guess I can look it up really quickly. But all of those are meant for more like day trading. 1 second.
Yeah. In fact, they tell you in the
because of the decay on them.
Yeah. All of them tell you specifically in the prospectus that they're meant for trade. They're not meant for long-term, holding. They're meant for daily volatility swings.
I just want to see what it's made up of. Is it the you can keep talking. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
But here's some of the ones that he talked about. The MSTU, which is T-Rex. I've never heard of that. T-Rex 2X long micro strategies.
This is what he's doing now?
No. This is some of the ones that Tony pointed out is probably stuff that you should stay a long way away from during this current market volatility. Another one was SMCL, Granite Shares 2X long SMCI. Ew.
Oh, okay. So here's what the important part is in the fact sheet is that these leveraged ETFs seek a return that is 300% or negative 300% of the return of their benchmark index for a single day. The fund should not be expected to provide 3 times or negative 3 times the return of the benchmark's cumulative return for periods greater than a day. And he was like, I'm going long-term TMF in 2 years. This thing's going to squeak, whatever the fuck.
Well, that was the biggest stupid part about it. It wasn't necessarily that he was buying
Did he say
TMF. It was that, he thought there was going to be a short squeeze on U.S. Treasuries, completely oblivious about how the Treasury market operates.
Yeah. And I can keep looking into its structure, but I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up there. These leverage ETFs are not made to trade for longer than a day. And that's it.
Yeah. Another one.
There's not really much more to say than that.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much explains it. And the stock had a reverse split basically in the middle of his holding.
Well, they
period.
all reverse
so
split.
He got the AMC experience all over again.
Yeah. Well, because of the leverage and Yeah, they every single one of these reverse split like constantly. Even like SQQQ or not SQQQ. What's the 3x leveraged? Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't think of it. Sorry, I was like rushing in here. I'll think of it in a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah. Another one he talked about was SVIX, which is the 1x
That's
short
it.
VIX futures.
Is it
And
the SX?
he warned about the possibility of Volmageddon, where he had all this volatility going into 2008, and then it absolutely
Volmageddon.
disappeared, and it completely crashed, and people ate shit holding SVIX long.
Well,
Mm.
yeah,
Though
I mean,
it was
the market didn't bottom out from the 2008 crisis till March of 2009. Why the hell would you be long on this?
Well, it's the way
well,
that it decays. Like it's going to eventually decay down far enough that they have to reverse split, like they all do, and it's in the structure of most of them.
well, it wasn't even just that. It's like the volatility spiked really high, and then VIX can move on a dime, as we've seen recently, and so all the volatility got sucked out of the building, and it went from all the lack of volatility got sucked out of the building. It was up 550%, and then not overnight, but rather rapidly was down 72%, just almost immediately.
I've never bought any sort of stock, fund, bond, or anything that came with a warning, much less a warning that I would ignore. I'm still not getting why, like, how people are buying this. Like, I can understand why he's doing, because he's a fucking idiot, but why other people would think this is a good idea.
Well, I mean, using VIX, like VIX or SVIX or something like that, would be a hedging thing. It would be like what Amy was saying about getting TMF. It's about short-term trading. It's about hedging your portfolio with different instruments.
I know, but he's talking about 2 years.
Yeah,
he's not talking about a day. It comes with a warning, basically, that says, "Don't do this more than a day."
Well, I think the reason that we're having to get these warnings out is because people can't keep their hands off an active stovetop. And then lays NVIDIA and AMD. So it's an SKD. So it's a leveraged ETF, and 100% NVIDIA and 100% AMD. So basically, I hope it's basically like a leveraged QQQ, except not. You're only, instead of getting all the diversity that you would with the NASDAQ, you're just going to put it all on red, I guess.
No, you're not putting it all on red. You're putting it all on a single number at that point. Like, there's like
2 numbers.
No upside. It's not a 50.
I'm going to take a loan out from the casino, and then I'm going to put it all on 2, and I'm going to put it all on 5. 50-50, 200%. One other thing that I wanted to talk about that we haven't.
So wait, is someone taking this trade? Like what's got you talking about this?
Well, there's usually, when people think of ETFs, and I just wanted to bring it up because it was an interesting thing that I think was in Tony's article, that there's a lot of these ETFs out here, and people kind of have this delusion, like we talked about with Spencer. I know that's a special kind of idiot, but there's people who see ETF and think that, oh, well, that's obviously someone's done their homework, when you can look at some of these ETFs and suddenly you realize that either they're meant for a specific thing, or just because they're an ETF doesn't mean they're, not inherently risky to take these positions.
Right. But I mean, like, you could use TMF to hedge like your TLT position, or to hedge, I don't know, if you have 20-year whatever, like you could use it for that. Like, that's what they're used for. They're not for buying and holding.
Yeah.
And they're certainly not for short squeezing.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, that is some of these, what I like to call synthetic dividend ETFs. They are
the yield max.
The yield max covered call ETFs. Now, I explained to Platinum and Joey already what the flaw with these is. Amy, do you know what the big flaw with these covered call ETFs are?
Well, I mean, if are they selling covered calls?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the upside's got to be capped, right?
Yep. That is the big thing. Like, you compare any of these, like this one happens to be the MicroStrategy one, but you compare that chart to the actual underlying chart, you will notice that they underperform, even if you count the premium dividend distributions, because you got a capped upside. So
so they're just basically paying out what they're getting in premium in yield, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so just a little, like, it wasn't that there was specifically anything in Tony's article. It was just a little chance to do some education, because I know there's some people, they see some of these ETFs like those covered call ETFs, and they think they've found the cheat code, but there is no free lunch in the stock market.
No, there's not. But I mean, I would think that they were, since it's covered call dividends, like I think they would be less risky.
Theoretically, but there's definitely ways that they can
but I mean, that's, if it's a covered call position, then they have the
underlying
stock. Yeah. So I mean, I guess just like inherently less risky because it's a covered position.
Yeah.
But typically they're hedged anyway. So I mean, I don't know.
So again, we're going to do a delicate dance. We're going to be talking about some people being silly around some of this tariff stuff without actually getting overtly political about the tariffs themselves. Are you ready to do this dance with me?
Oh God, here we go.
This one is actually from Coffeezilla. So this is less about the tariffs so much as the thing that happened around the tariffs.
People are worried.
From someone's commentary.
The stock market's crashing. The crypto markets are crashing. There's a lot of YouTubers making thumbnails like, it's over. It's already ended. The recession's here. Oh, wait, that last one wasn't a YouTuber. It's BlackRock's Larry Fink. But I do have to say, there's a different way to look at this that I wish more people would embrace. This is brought to you, by the thought leader Benny Johnson on X.
Losing money costs you nothing.
There it is.
This is just the reality of life.
I've seen this clip so many times.
Were you young and dumb? How much money did you lose? Everyone loses money. Everyone loses money. It costs you nothing. In fact, it builds quite a bit of character.
What an amazing way to look at it.
Yeah, no, like everyone has been
interesting take.
This.
Oh, it gets better because he's had a pretty different take from earlier.
Don't worry about losing money.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of the same as you don't lose if you don't sell.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what he's trying to do.
Except for the money part, I guess it does cost that. Now, I was so taken aback by I've never seen anybody try something like this. So I thought, well, at least he's ideologically consistent. He probably says this every time the stock market crashes, right? Like when it crashed under Biden or Harris, that he said the same thing, right?
It's bloody Black Monday. Holy moly. The Kamala crash is...
Who knew? The guy is politically motivated? Who could have guessed?
Well, I mean, do you know who Ben Johnson is? Of course he is. Like,
he's a Russian shill. He took a shit ton of money from Russia. Like, the man is not...
Oh, I didn't even know all that.
Yeah,
so
he was on the list with Lauren Chin and Tim Pool and all the rest. He was I can't remember what the name of the management company was, but he was being paid to put out this type of content. And what an idiot! Losing something costs you nothing. Yeah, except my freaking money.
Yeah. I think we can come to a pretty obvious agreement there that is, well, like Amy said, overtly politically motivated, and that there was a lot of takes like that came out of the tariffs thing. It's like I can understand where people would want to be in agreement with the tariffs or certain aspects of a certain political philosophy, but I don't like it when people can't own their shit.
If it costs me nothing, can he cover my Switch 2 pre-order?
Are they
all
taking
four
it?
of
They
ours?
delayed it. Are they? Did they? Is it back? I thought it was delayed.
Yeah, there's a rumor that it's May 9th. It's indefinitely delayed, but some of the more reputable Nintendo leakers have said they've moved it back just 1 month.
Now we did
do
have
we need
this.
Sweaters? Do I need to put on a sweater?
I got a
Here,
sweater on.
Gob, here.
Sweaters. Please
Yeah,
wear sweaters.
the girls of MMTLP apparently don't appreciate
Yeah, well, fuck them.
my boobs. My pubes.
I think
Here we
it's
go.
envy.
Is this good for you? Is this good for you girls? Hang out like this?
I'm gonna hide your
We'll have to get Amy all covered up. We'll get her
Just give me my
compliant with. We'll get her compliant with MMTLP Sharia law.
We'll get her a little red robe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wear my habit for you ladies. It's gonna make you feel better.
Can't be leading those MMTLP boys astray.
It's not the boys, it's the girls.
approved.
It's not the boys, it's the girls.
Right?
Again, I say envy because they know that you would.
Triple D campaign.
Triple D.
That's what they said.
That is what they said. It's so confusing. I don't get it.
Well, we have some MMTLP stuff later in the night. The next thing that I wanted to bring up, let's share this tab. There was one other major well, that one wasn't a major one. That was just kind of point and laugh at the political pundit. This one was more. I did put it in the thumbnail. There are two parts to this. The first part, I'll have some discussion on because I'm not sure if I'm totally sold on how. But we'll let.
Did you miss the Trump trade? The insider group chat we were all invited to.
Guys, I don't know if you saw
Here we
this.
go.
There
Does
was a
this work?
huge
Here we
opportunity
go.
to make some money.
We'll
because
put their names on it.
Put their name. Make sure you get the signature.
Hi, Jonna. We'll put their names on them.
Yeah.
President front ran the president. He says on Truth Social
It's
at
weird.
April 9th at 8:37 a.m., this is a great time to buy. Now, this is at all-time, at least in recent memory, lows for the stock market. The stock market's bottomed out, all because of the fears of tariffs that the president implemented. So he tweets this. You know, you're wondering, what is he talking about? Well, 3 hours later, we got this. Based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I hereby am raising the tariff to charge to China by the United States to 125% effective immediately, saying that he's going to pause for 90 days the rest of the world, sending the rest of the world sky.
Yeah, that whole rally was really crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys were you guys looking at it at that time, because it was just almost a straight, like,
I had calls.
vertical line.
Yeah, I was on a call.
And I actually took VIX puts for the 16th, I think. So that should be interesting on Monday after the weekend news.
Oh,
Look, this market,
this
market is like, it's sketchy as fuck,
ridiculous.
but it's also becoming a little bit predictable. So like, you know, like anyone who, like, I didn't like turn around and take puts after that big like zoom up. I should have, and part of me wanted
because
to.
it retraced like what?
Yeah,
4%?
part of me wanted to, but I mean, it's getting to a point where, like, I mean, just buy the dips and sell the rips. That's really, I mean,
you almost have to become a day trader on this market.
Yeah,
you literally have
very hard to be a retail investor.
I mean, like, it's hard to be like the 0 days, like, because the volatility is so high. I feel like they're just getting wrecked both ways if you're holding it for any extended period of time. But like, if you give yourself a little bit of time, I don't think they get like chewed up as bad. But like with the VIX as high as it's been, like the spreads are awful. So like, you know, you're paying ridiculously high premiums, you know, for for really anything either way. And so
because the
it's a
vol
little
is
bit hard.
and IV is starting to blow out because of all the volatility.
Well, the spreads are blowing out.
Yeah.
Well, the spreads blew out last week, especially when the VIX was at like almost 60.
Yeah.
The spreads on the options like blow
Even
out
SPY
considerably.
was like $100 spreads for
Yeah.
SPY.
It's
which I was
ridiculous.
Like, what the hell is this broken? Is there something?
And even when I was doing like in some of the ones that I had, like the calls that I had, I even did like spreads on those where I was, buy a call, sell a call, buy a further out of the money call, kind of 3-leg broken. But yeah, they were, and like trying to even get out of them, like to put them up, like get a fill was ridiculous. Like, I don't know how you like the speed that you need to day trade is not really there when the VIX is so high and spreads are blown out. Like it took me forever. I had
if you're trying to do a
calls.
longer, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
forever.
I had meta calls and it took forever to get filled, and then finally it did, and I was like, oh God, thank God. It took a long time, longer than it normally does, for sure.
So this one was really the interesting part of it. I didn't realize it was so close in time. But basically on Monday, I know we had a little light discussion about that where.
Oh, sorry.
God bless you.
My mic.
That's all right. Where what was it? Walter Bloomberg came out and was like, "Hey, by the way, the tariff
90-day pause."
And that turned out to be true. That turned out to be true.
And the White House tried to deny it, and then by Wednesday it was true. Huh.
Yeah, so somebody leaked it to him early.
Well,
or at least two, because did it come from Politico or one of
They were asking about it.
It came straight from Twitter, and then it went to CNBC, and then Reuters and Politico picked it up.
That was after
the CNBC picked it up straight off Twitter.
Yeah, I have I can tell you where if you want to know. I have the accounts that they looked at, where I have the snippet where the guy talks about the accounts that he took it from. It's actually kind of a funny blurb. Let me find it.
Is that how desperate we are for hope at this point, that we're just?
I mean, I just hope that that's not like a standard thing. If they're getting advice from FinTwit, we might as well just all quit.
Well, Walter Bloomberg
just call it good.
Delete.
We're good.
Yeah,
we're done here.
Call it quit.
Nice knowing you all.
Like, we see the shit that's on FinTwit. Like, come on. Like, I hope that's not where their info is coming from.
So they deny it, and then I didn't realize that tweet by Trump was so close in time to it. I thought it was like a day prior or anything. But it's like 3 hours before.
Same day.
Well, I mean, it makes it so that anyone who did have inside information, they could say.
Well, that was the same day too that Goldman Sachs said. They said
recession, or
they said recession. I think it was like,
and then they were like, JK,
68 minutes or 73 minutes. I can't remember the time, but it was like a little over an hour later. They were like, just kidding.
Yep.
Jamie Dimon is an idiot for that. I mean, you do not change your prediction. You're already at a 45% for a recession, and then you go to a 65, and then you say, JK, we're bringing it back down to 45. I don't know who he's trying to curry favor with, but
I don't know if he's trying to curry favor. I think you're just trying to keep up with the shit that's happening. I mean, like, it's hard for anyone to be like, all right, we can feel confident about, this call or what we're saying. Like, it's hard to do that in this environment because it's changing, right? I mean, you've got, it's like the Michael Scott thing, like snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap from The Office.
Yeah. And then you've got,
but they're also trying, they also are trying to, like, they look forward in the market, right? They're trying not to look in the now. So they're trying to, predict or at least signal to the market what they think is going to happen in the long run. And then it's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. And then we got a lot of fire back on that. Apparently, see, this is the one that I'm kind of with Platinum, where, like, I don't think that this is going to end up with the mustard that people think it is, because, like you said, I think you're trying to say there, Platinum, that, put it out soon enough in front of it. It makes it seem less like it's games. It seems more like gamesmanship rather than actual like insider buffoonery.
Yeah, it's more like, oh, everyone knew about it rather than just insiders.
I think Besant wish-casted this. I think Besant leaked it. And I know this sounds like a dumb conspiracy. I think he leaked it just so they couldn't back off of it because he was sick of Navarro's shit.
So here's the Navarro's. So here's that said.
Oops.
It was a direct message to the Wall Street Journal that said, given the market movement plus 4.5%, I deemed the headline reliable and posted it at 10:13. An X account called T3 Live had posted the same headline at 10:12. The earliest mention of the headline on X appeared to be at 10:11 a.m., posted from an account called Hammer Capital, an anonymous account with 692 followers.
Hammer Capital. Now that's an interesting name.
With 692 followers and a bio that reads memes and vibes.
And that's our source.
T3 Trading
Must
Group,
have been a good one then. I don't know.
T3 Trading Group, T3 Live, and Hammer Capital could not immediately be reached for comment.
Well, they must. Hey, they reached them. So what? Like someone needs to be spilling the deets on that one.
Memes and vibes, guys. Just memes and vibes.
Hey, how you doing, Manuel? So that one I think was the one that like I get it because Trump made the tweet. Like that seems like the easy get if the Democrats want to try and pin Trump to the wall on something. But I think the more shady trade was the other one. The SPY options calls that yanked the market upward.
Yeah,
I think that was part of the acceleration. You had all these calls preloaded, and then you had everyone caught off sides by the announcement who were expecting the market to go down further. And originally when I heard this, I was like, there were a bunch of people saying, oh, it was a bit of a like short squeeze, not like, like the big one around like GameStop and stuff, but like people were legitimately caught off sides because no one expected Trump to just he'd already denied it. And then, he decided to about face, not totally, because the market retraced, because I think the market read and finally realized, well, it's a 90-day pause and it's still 10% tariffs and you're not getting rid of the China tariffs. So that's why you saw the retrace the next day. But the market was in a juiced position that when the news came out and these calls were already there and there were people betting probably for further downside, that the market ripped. Like it was like 7% at the peak, right? It was an insane move.
It was it got up to 11, I think. Or maybe that was
the most since 2008, they said. That it's gone up in one day.
Yeah, but that was in the middle of the crisis, not at the end of it, people.
And I thought originally when I saw this that it was an hour before, but no, it was 10 minutes before the announcement. How do you?
Of course it was.
Time that unless you fucking knew.
I wonder. And they're totally going to investigate themselves now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. After they've gutted the SEC and the DOJ's not, well, that's news coming down the pipe. So I won't ruin that one. But like Doge has already gutted the SEC. They're already doing a bunch of shit. Like this is clearly, obviously, like, well, and are there rules really for government insider trading?
I mean, people talk like
yes.
I mean, yeah, there is, but it's like I don't know if it was government insider trading or if there's just somebody who just like, texts their pal at Wall Street and like, oh, yeah, this is happening. I mean, I don't know, like, whatever.
It just feels like at least it should be investigated because it's really sus.
I mean, they already said they were going to investigate themselves, so that will go absolutely nowhere.
That's the problem when you have an administration that already looks like it has dirty hands. Because even if it is true that no one did anything, is anyone going to believe that they didn't do anything?
No.
Yeah.
That's literally exactly it. I've investigated myself and found I did nothing.
And I found I did nothing. I see. I didn't realize it was in the chat. Thank you.
wrote that on Twitter too.
Watch this swing. Going for the Bush quote. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, people are still to this day bitter that basically no one went to jail after 2008. And there are people that are just remembering this. They're like, we want someone's head. We don't care.
People did go to jail though.
Wasn't it like one person in 2014 though?
No, it's probably just people you don't know. Let me tell you.
Yep, crimes are being committed in broad. Well, duh, guys. Trump coin. Hello.
So it says, yeah. I mean, it doesn't give an exact number. It just says a significant number of bankers and financial professionals were convicted and sentenced to prison for crimes related to 2008.
Significant number.
Yeah, there were. There ones you didn't hear about, and it was also, so in the United States, Kareem, Sarah Geldin, there were other individuals, including those involved in savings and loan crisis, who were jailed for related crimes. There was 47 bankers in Iceland. It's like,
I knew about the Iceland one because
it's more than you think.
Documentary done on that.
It's just not people that you know. I have a hair somewhere on my face that is making me crazy.
I know this isn't exactly tariff related, but it's beginning our transition point. This is something I'm kind of terrified of, and I'm going to switch this so everyone can read it. This, I'm not in any way a fan of this when I saw it. U.S. Insight, Roberts nudges Fed closer to loss of independence. The Fed's ability to conduct monetary policy free of political interference is under immediate threat. On April 9th, the legal struggle over this issue moved one step closer to the climactic battle. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts reversed the lower court ruling and allowed President Donald Trump to proceed for now with firing two officials who led independent agencies. Their legal situation is the same as that of the Federal Reserve governors, making the outcome of their cases pivotal to the Fed's own independence. So
this is regarding the NLRB?
The Fed.
I think he's talking about the underlying cases that could lead to a precedent where Jerome Powell could just be fired, which this is at this point all speculation. We don't it's not like Trump has come out and said, I'm going to get rid of Jay Powell, but
but he's come out and said, hey, Jay Powell, you need to lower the interest rates.
Lower rates, which he did in his last term too. He did the same thing.
Right, but he's got, Collins just came out, and they said, or she said, we're absolutely ready to do that. But then someone else came out. I can't remember which one. Was it Barkin? I can't remember which one came out and said that the rates are appropriate. It's not just Jay Powell saying it.
I think that's also part of
it's just a very heightened reaction to what I think they probably see as a temporary problem, because these things don't go into effect immediately where all of a sudden we're all going to be paying a whole lot of money. I think it's all I saw it wouldn't really start to impact until maybe June or something, if it even goes that long. So I think that they're not, the Fed is proactive. They're not reactive. And, I think
very
that
reactive.
The pro is reactive. The Fed
they're very reactive. They are not proactive. Yeah. I would disagree with that statement.
What do you mean? No, I don't think they're reactive at all.
They wait for the data. We rely on the data. And the data is always 6 months later.
The data's not always 6 months later. It's usually in the rears by a month. But they're talking that's why you have the dot plot. They are proactive. They're not reactive unless something is breaking. I don't feel like they're very reactive. And I feel like the market and the participants and everything else is very reactive. And somebody has to have a cooler head here. And I think through this they've had a pretty cool head.
I also think that they
but I don't think I disagree that they're not proactive.
I don't think that they want to cut rates right now. Not only because
no, they don't.
like the main signal from rate cuts would be that the economy's in the shit, and that'd be the only reason that they would cut rates.
I mean, if they were proactive, they
If
would
they
have
were-
known that they were causing inflation and they would have started raising rates earlier. Like they were reactive to the inflation super late.
No, but
they
they also want to prevent further, so they do
Yeah.
they do act proactively, but at the moment, the only
If
place
they were reactive, they would have dropped rates when the yield spiked up, like when the long end went bananas.
I mean,
I
that was
personally think he's
like this
worried
last
about,
week.
Yeah.
I think he's worried about
Oh.
stagflation, which is just something the Fed is fucked on. They can't do anything about it.
Well, yeah,
They-
because it has things to do with monetary things outside of the Fed's control. If
I think
Exactly.
they're also worried about deflation, because disinflation is what you want. Deflation is actually bad.
Oh yeah,
And-
because it's the dry up of the money supply. But I don't even think that they have a problem with deflation now anymore, because like, did you guys see the DXY tank along with yield spiking? That to
Well,
me
yeah.
is a sign that everyone's fleeing U.S. markets. That
Right.
the dollar value is collapsed. So I don't think they really have a problem with.
Well, Japan is selling the debt. I mean, they don't think that it's a good investment anymore. It's not China.
Yeah, because
it's
it's wild and crazy what the U.S.
It's
is
not.
doing.
It's
with
not
its
China
currency.
doing it. It's Japan.
Japan
So-
is the largest foreign holder. People,
Yes.
for all the talk the politicians put into, well, China owns our debt. It's actually the Japanese mostly.
because of how long that they've been basically doing QE over there in Japan, where the rates are nothing. They have to go somewhere else to get yield. And U.S. has been traditionally considered the most stable market up until recently. So
Yeah, it was risk free until last week.
one last thing before we to transition us from our talk about current government policy into our more crazy meme stock section. We have two transitionary articles. This is our first one. DOJ is going to scrap its crypto investigation unit. In our further segment of crime is legal.
Crime is legal still.
If you were doing crypto fraud, now's the time.
Please
Do all the
continue.
crypto fraud you want to.
Haktua
Jeez.
and pump on that thing.
Yeah.
Pump
Well,
on,
yeah,
Did you say pump on that thing?
Yep.
something.
The
Okay.
Department of Justice is not a digital assets regulator. Oh, yeah. Well, but they are a fraud investigator. Like the SEC can still, or the what is it? The CD, like the what was the one? The
Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
no. It's the one that deals with
Commodities.
Yeah, the commodities. I don't know what the abbreviation for that one is. But
Well,
Like
that's
didn't they
like,
CFTC or something.
yeah.
Didn't we already say that that meme coins aren't a security?
Well, yeah,
Yep.
but then if
Well,
they're
that
a
was
digital
previous
asset-
policy that they considered securities, but there's been a lot of shift as to whether they're going to treat them as securities or if it's just going to be like they're doing right now, where they're just going to let it be crypto be the Wild West, which
Well,
will
if
be very much to the detriment of everybody.
It's either a security, which means it would be covered by the SEC, or
Mhm.
it's not, which would mean if they're saying it's a digital asset, it'd be covered by the CFPB, or at least the fraudulent trading of it would be.
Yeah.
But if they're saying it's a digital asset, but then they went and they're like, well, we need to get rid of the CFPB. Well, who's in charge of this shit? Who is in charge of regulating?
Well, I think it's like this whole comment here. The Department of Justice is not a digital asset
CFTC?
regulator.
Also, it said CFTC.
CFTC. Thank you very much, sir. Like, I think that whole statement is irrelevant because fraud is still fraud. Like, the SEC has jurisdiction over securities, but when the whole situation happened with our dear friend who got away with pumping and dumping over at Atlas, like, that was still a Department of Justice investigation because fraud is fraud. So this just sounds like fucking the Justice Department being Pontius Pilate and just washing his hands of the fucking thing and walking away. So that's my 2 cents on that. Like, the Department of Justice has said, if you're doing crypto fraud, we don't give a shit. Do all the crypto fraud you fucking want to. Be our guest.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
Bullish.
But speaking of defanging regulators and making them toothless and incapable of carrying out their legislative objectives as directed by them being enacted in law through Congress and then approved by the president, we have apparently a bill going through Congress to get rid of FINRA and roll FINRA's powers into the SEC, as if the underfunded and overburdened SEC is going to have the time to do what FINRA does.
Well, they already had 2 executive orders for the SEC so far, which one of them was that they have to get different approval to be able to even do their investigation. So they're already less than what they were, last year, right? They've already
do you know what
closed
those
down.
said? Because I was not aware of those. That's crazy.
Oh, you didn't?
You basically have to get
Okay.
clearance from Maine Justice to do anything.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
right.
And they've closed 2 different offices, I'm pretty sure.
I
And
knew about that one. I will say.
Yeah, they're offering $50,000 severance packages for people.
Yeah,
to
because
leave.
that was all Doge related stuff, and that I told people the minute that Elon and Doge rolled into the SEC, that was going to be problems, and everyone was like, "Oh no, it's going to be great. Elon's going to find all the naked short sellers and the." It's like,
that's not what they're looking for.
so
They're looking
much.
for money. Like their only job is to look for budget cuts, basically. Just like,
and
their
to
only job is to
defang
look
regulation so that Elon doesn't have
Yeah.
regulation.
Meanwhile, Tesla literally paid $0 in taxes with their billions.
Okay, they're making $0 in money right now, so it's fitting.
No, I mean, they're making money. SEC lawyers will need leadership's green light for formal probes.
You want to screenshot that or screen share that real quick, and we can.
Hold on. I mean, it's just like the headline or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So they basically have to get approval from who before they can investigate?
The Justice Department.
The Justice Department?
No,
but
Republican-led leadership before formally undertaking investigations.
Oh, well, fuck. So it's not even bipartisan. It's just if they feel okay with it at that time.
Yep.
Fuck. That is absolutely.
And then there was another executive order that removed their function to operate as that's part of it. It removed their capacity to function as an independent agency.
Yeah, this is Schedule F in practice.
Well, and this is my problem with all of this stuff. It's that these agencies should absolutely be independent of the government.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because
I take issue with all of that.
Because then you get situations where whoever's in office at the time can basically direct things away from friends and whoever,
right,
or direct it at political opponents.
The oil system that we had in the early 1800s.
So, yeah, you want these agencies to be somewhat independent and bipartisan, or non-political to the best of their abilities, because they're administrating justice. But I guess that's not a thing that we're going to do anymore.
So the Office of Management and Budget will be
the guy who wrote Project 25. Russell Vogt is who's in charge of that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So
let's abolish FINRA and just Who needs anything?
It's never going to happen. They're not going to abolish FINRA.
Yeah,
I really don't think that this bill is going anywhere. But
it's pretty short. You can.
Is it underwhelming? Do you think?
Yeah, it's but it's over a 2-year period, and it doesn't abolish what FINRA does. It literally just changes from FINRA to the SEC.
And that's the problem.
They're
is
going to
just
have
like,
the same
where
rule.
is
It's
the
just going to be
SEC
the
going to be able to?
the SEC doing it. So it's just basically like wherever you write FINRA, start putting the SEC. But what the actual like role of FINRA isn't going to change. What's up, baby?
Well,
Okay.
what I'm most confused about is Congress created these agencies. These were not agencies that were created by the executive.
Yeah, and they were granted power by Congress. Yeah.
The only people that can remove that power is Congress.
Well, that's why they're trying to pass this bill to unravel these powers. Like, because at current, like in the Securities and Exchange Act, the SEC was granted power to basically create these SROs. So if they want to get rid of FINRA, they need to like actually extract the ability of the SEC to grant out that power and change the law. So I guess that's what they're doing.
So also out there.
Require commission's approval to begin formal investigations. So they would need the approval of the commission. They can't do just independent investigations. That's, I guess,
That's
better,
insane.
but it's still not great.
Well, no, then it's just whoever's on the commission who is a political appointee can just like look at someone and say, oh, by the way, you're under investigation. They can tell them they're under investigation. There's not a lot of ethical standards for political employees at the moment.
All right. Well, that's that whole situation. We do have more MMTLP stuff. This one's kind of a side. This is like a side quest kind of thing. I'll
just show you what it looks like. So this is what they're doing. Hold on, let's zoom in there, if you can see. Independent regulatory agency chairman to regulate, consult, and coordinate policies with the OMB, heads of independent regulatory agencies to establish a position of White House liaison in their respective agencies. So like this would be for the Fed too, right?
Probably. If it's
is this her proposal?
No, this already happened. This was an executive order in February.
Oh.
See?
Additional mechanisms to allow the president and the executive order establishes that the president and the attorney general's opinions on questions of law are controlling on all employees in the conduct of their official duties.
No, this is the part where he said that the executive interprets law instead of the judiciary.
What? Like you beat me to it. I was about to read it. I'm like, no, that's not how that fucking works.
That was the headline. It wasn't what the order actually did. The headline was that the executive determines the interpretation of law.
No, go read the Constitution. That is not how that fucking works.
Yeah.
I mean, the Supreme Court interprets law.
Yeah, the judicial branch.
Yeah, like what's the argument? That he is saying that the
executive branch interprets law through the attorney general and the president.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
It's like I hate to go back to World of Darkness. It's whether or not
the prince has determined that you were to be blood hunted. Therefore, you are blood hunted, bitch.
Well, it's more like the prince is telling the harpy what to do with her boons. Like, no.
Yeah. So, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
We're all screwed.
We have a nice side quest though. Would you like to explain what's going on here, Platinum?
Goodness. Okay, what is this here? Oh yeah, so
Traudt thing.
Wes Christian
we
went to court.
Kindly links us to.
Yeah, and sued Scott Traudt originally for $250,000 for defamation. Then said that was a typo and sued him for $50,000 instead.
Yeah, he fat fingered the two and said, "Oh, well, sorry,
right." And so Scott has a real lawyer now responding.
Great decision. I am glad Scott
he has an anti-slap
went ahead and got a lawyer as opposed to trying to pro say this. Excellent decision.
Mhm.
Yeah,
off
he's
the bat.
got like an anti-slap law lawyer too.
Well, see,
That's
this is
right.
the problem. We'll get to the Coffeezilla lawsuit. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail because there are some videos of a lawyer who's actually covering that I want to kind of listen to before I get too into that. But I did do some reading onto that docket. But that's the difference between this case and Coffeezilla's case, because Coffeezilla's is in federal court in Texas. Because of the Ninth Circuit bullshit thing, he doesn't get these anti-slap, whereas this is in Texas. Scott gets the anti-slap protection.
Just in talking about getting a lawyer, Danielle Spears, also from the 1209 lawsuit, she just put out a tweet that she's got a serious shot at representation by a big dog who's very familiar with MMTLP and MMAT.
Ooh,
So
nice.
what's that one all about?
That's one of the shareholder.
One of the pro se ones.
The pro se. Yeah.
Who they're going after, like everyone.
Yeah.
Basically everybody.
Well, hopefully that will lead to an amended complaint that actually leads to a complaint that is
that won't be dismissed.
going
Yeah.
places. Yeah.
Right. So this is so he's saying pretty much that Wes Christian is a public figure. He inserted himself in this whole shenanigan fucking MMTLP situation.
Well, do you want me to read his tweet?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Oh, sure. Let's hear
The
his
tweet
interpretation.
referenced.
So his tweet, it says, Wes Christian stepped in it. And finally, after 25 years of being a blight on the Texas legal community and the bane of he lights his ass up, yeah. And the bane of retail traders everywhere, with his well-rehearsed playbook of deceit, distraction, and nefarious behavior, finally has counter battery to deal with. Yes, old James Wes Christian has been doing his usual intimidation via litigation and threats, and the hideously overreaching litigation hold letters. Do you know about that, Corax? Like that he was DMing like shareholders, like MTLP shareholders, like the spaces that like Platt and I hang out in, and that he was like for Puzzled Raccoon, he like he mailed it to her, he registered.
Everyone that he can find out their information, like everybody who they've doxed. That's what they did.
Everyone who they've doxed, he sent like letters,
certified letter, regular letter, and FedEx.
Yeah.
Demand letters?
No, like not even litigation hold letters, basically tell them to preserve your
electronic data.
Yeah, like I'm about to sue you. This is notice that you need to save your shit because I'm going to sue you.
So he sent it to multiple of the
probably like 20 people
of the people, and then like the ones he didn't have, or the ones that they didn't dox and he didn't know who they were, he sent them in DM
via Twitter DM.
A 7-page
Oh, is
letter.
that like I know? Was that the one you got platinum or someone got? I remember us discussing. Someone got
a whole bunch of people got them.
Yeah, a whole bunch of like Southern Oracle, like I don't know, a bunch of people got them, but on Twitter. But so he says the hideously overreaching litigation hold letters sent out to various people involved in the whole MMTLP Nextbridge Hydro Grifters situation.
Hydro Grifters, yes! Oh my goodness! I get that Scott is a tinge on the soft sit side, but man, when he is on fire, he goes on fire.
So he said he's carrying Greg McCabe's bags for him to the plane. Most likely, should dry wells need to flee an extradition-free country. but I digress. I suspected something was wrong with Wes in June of 2023 when his Flamethrower LLC PR turned out to be just one more John Berta propaganda piece. And for reasons that will be clear in court, Wes never intended to get to the bottom of the share count or fraud in MMTLP. Hell, if everyone remembers, he was paid to look at MMAT and MMTLP and said a meritorious claim for naked shorting, etc., existed. Then nothing was done.
Well, and then we have the bankruptcy thing where he was brought in again, and still
there's more.
But wait.
I just wanted to addendum.
We're gonna Billy Mays this crap.
Yeah. He did the same when handed Schwab information too. Action to benefit MMTLP shareholders was one subpoena away, but he balked. I've got the receipts. And now he submitted a funding request that he needs $11 million to investigate MMAT, something that the cruel and ambitious, he's talking about Danielle Spears, he's being sarcastic, and others has pointed out he has no business doing, as he represents Nextbridge Hydrocarbons now, and McCabe, and he's suing one MMTLP shareholder and threatening to sue others.
Yeah.
And McCabe owns MMAT shares. Simply put, he sued me for $250,000 for calling him a fraud. He then determined that maybe I hadn't called him that much of a fraud and knocked it down to $50,000. To be fair, he told the court it was a typo, but we all know it was a huge number thrown out to try and scare me off. And his lawsuit, signed under oath, mind you, stated he has now damaged in his business, or he is now. It should say he is now damaged in his business. He was now. Okay, for $50,000 by my mean words.
Yeah, see, that's the problem I have the most with.
Yeah, you see, MMTLP fam, he committed a, quote, fraud upon the court, to use a Texas legal term. At the time he signed off on the complaint that he was damaged, he was being hired by Nextbridge Hydrocarbons and was hired to represent Nextbridge Hydrocarbons and Greggy Drywells. And now
Greggy Drywells.
And now they are truly gonzo. University lands permanently terminated the Nextbridge Hydrocarbons lease on the Oro Grande on March 1st, 2025. In closing, here's the rub. He told the court he was damaged by Scotty Traudt, yet then was hired by Nextbridge Hydrocarbons after his reputation was supposedly damaged. That is all, and here's the motion to dismiss filed by my attorney.
I will say a couple things about his statement. Number one, it's a lot harder. Like Joey, you do deal with the law like I deal with the law. Like trying to say something was a fraud upon the court is kind of a high bar.
Yeah,
we're just reading the tweet, folks. Don't sue us.
Well, I mean, bad faith is hard enough to prove by itself, but like calling someone a fraud and
fraud is kind of a generic term generally.
But I mean, he has a point.
He's
telling the court that his business was damaged, and then he was hired by Nextbridge Hydrocarbons. And
right, I don't think it's. I think it'll be really hard for Wes to prove that there was actual damages, but calling it a fraud upon the court is a bit of a reach.
So this is.
Well, I think he's saying that he because he didn't disclose that he was hired by Nextbridge or was being hired by Nextbridge. That's the fraud.
If you have didn't disclose it, he's just trying to say that his business was damaged. Meanwhile, it clearly really wasn't.
Well, what my biggest complaint with this whole thing is, you've now hired an attorney. Why didn't your attorney just tell you, stay the fuck off social media? Please stop immediately.
Oh, Scott's.
Clearly you don't know Scott. What you need to learn about Scott is there's no off switch. There's just
when it comes to MMTLP, and all of them continue tweeting. So let's just leave it how it is because it's very entertaining. Okay, let's just.
We would be out of a job if he went quiet.
Speaking
of which, if someone wants to ask Scott to come on, we would love to have.
Oh my God! Yeah, right.
Lawsuit. Come on.
So just answer Chris' thing. I agree, Chris, but I asked this question not too long ago. Why is it that Wes Christian is the only attorney you see talking about these naked shorts and the share and tell? If there was truly the issue that he says there is, wouldn't attorneys everywhere be all over this? Just like the ones who you see pop up that are
oh yeah, there'd be money to be made.
How you have class action
because you're coming up with anytime the stock drops considerably, they're class action.
You have a class action lawsuit in the window.
So why is it that all of these, right? Look at any of the CEO block companies or any of these penny stocks. Why is it always him? And why isn't does that say and he always, and I think somebody said it the other day, he considers getting past the motion to dismiss the win, right? So because that's when he puts in for the settlement, that's when he's look, we're past the motion to dismiss. If you want it, if we're gonna keep going with this, I have all of this. Yes, you want this to go away, then this is what it's going to be. And like, I haven't looked into his history, but like, I'm pretty sure they've all ended in settlement, right? Have any of them ended in a judgment?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, they end up being dismissed, and then you can't sue the settlement. So,
see, so like, I don't know. I just something is.
That's why I think it's really
smelly.
shady that he's dropped the whole naked shorts thing and gone to the spoofing thing, because it's a much easier claim to argue in
yeah,
court.
you can't prove the naked shorts.
But you can manipulate
But
any
it has it- but it
particular
has
little
Scott-
price dip,
but it
and you
has
can
a-
call it. Look, these people. It could have been just a closed trade that someone put out a bid offer and then withdrew it. But it was spoofing, guys. They tried to move the price.
Well, he can't prove the naked shorts, but like, he certainly profited from that narrative.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
I don't know.
this
I just
is,
like it seems kind of questionable to me. Like, why, if this was such a rampant issue as these
Why
people
there aren't
claim.
more lawyers getting in
Yeah.
on this bandwagon?
Yeah, no.
100%.
Anywhere there's money to be made, there'd be commercials. Like there'll be ads on Facebook. Have you or a family member?
Well, maybe it's just
I mean,
a situation
even
with
after
like
a bad earnings,
Ethan.
you see that
He's
like,
called 300 lawyers, and he's he's doing. They're all on the case. All 300.
Well, even
of them.
after,
They
like,
believe his claims.
like a bad earnings report or something, you see like the quadruple named law firm, like just choose your own adventure law firm who's like, all right, class action, call us and let us know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you would see more of that
That
if
needs
it
to
was
be
such a problem.
That needs to be a T-shirt, Amy. If we ever get a merch store again, choose your own adventure lawsuit.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh my God! I've got the perfect picture for it too.
Awesome.
I literally have a friend that does t-shirts and designs stuff.
All right. Well,
It's like all of the different. Yeah, we'll
take it away, Platinum. You got some highlights for us.
yeah, just one good paragraph here. So they're talking about two of the tweets. And he says here, tweets number 1 and number 3 are of concern to the public because they implicate the commission of a crime that Christian may be involved with the cover-up of activities done by paid company consultants, Clinton Plant, that falsified online and presented to the public as true certain values of oil well production. Christian, by and through his representation of Flamethrower LLC, was in a position to know this and had the requisite background and details of company information to identify this fraud, but chose to conceal it. Whether these tweets are valid, partly valid, or completely concocted is not a question before the court. So, and then they also included...
Do they? Because I was kind of surprised, because I remember reading it. I'm surprised that they didn't add in the motion to dismiss lack of jurisdiction, because it's not like Scott Traudt directed his communications into the state of Texas. So why does Texas in particular have jurisdiction?
Well, who cares? Because they have really good anti-SLAPP laws, so
that's pretty fair.
But look at this. They even included these. This is our paid consultant that works for Nextbridge Hydrocarbons, gets paid $10,000 a month. This was when the stock was trading in 2022. These are false. You can see people calling them out, showing the real results, and these are the real results and what they actually look like. 0.
I just like taking the easy way out, but like when you have evidence like this will be really embarrassing for him.
What'd you say?
I didn't get to see what did the false one say?
The false one? He had said, well, there's a bunch of them, but this is the one where he had said, oh, you can see it closer down here because I put it here too. So this was a fake one where he said it was 1,926 for one of them, but it was actually 0 if you looked it up. Yeah.
So who had him falsify?
Clinton Plant is the one who tweeted it.
Yeah.
Who is
See?
I like that name.
I had to get a blanket. I'd be happy.
Plant is the perfect name because he was a plant for the company.
Literally.
Yeah, he's the one who gave them like a $2 million loan, right?
Right.
That's right.
So he has financial incentive to lie, but
Yes.
did they sign off on the lie?
Well, they hired him after he lied, so hard to know.
Maybe
Oh,
they
they
hired him
hired
because
him?
of the lie. Hard to tell.
As a consultant, I mean, they pay him $10,000 a month after he lied.
Oh, I thought that was because isn't he charging them like 18% on their loan?
12%. That's another thing too.
Oh, it's 12. I thought it was higher than that.
Well, it would be 18% if they don't pay it, basically, is what they were saying. And they extended it, which, I mean, that's probably what they're going to do, but they haven't come out with a 10K yet. So we'll see what
Fun
happens.
times.
Those aren't great terms.
No, senior secured. So I think he's above McCabe. But then they also, McCabe said he would give him like shares are securing the loan, which is like, who wants those shares anyways? Nobody.
So yeah, if anyone wants to do it, because I'm not on X anymore, just give the feelers out to Scott. If he wants some airtime, we'll be more than happy to have him on about his lawsuit.
I don't know that
We're all
he tweets a whole lot, but I haven't seen him like
No, I
chatting it
haven't
up or
either.
anything
Has
about
he
it.
done
Yeah, he
any,
was in like
big
one
calls?
space, I think, but I missed it. So I don't know. I'll tell him.
Okay. Even if it's
I'll
like a
DM
sit
him.
down and we do an edited video, I'd be happy to give it a roll.
I would be
Um,
interested to hear like anything he had to say, just seeing what he tweets. I think it would be very entertaining.
It would be entertaining for sure. The next thing I wanted to kind of come up was recently breaking. I only found out about it today, but apparently this has been on the wire since the 10th. Apparently We the Investors has made a proposed, it was wait, make sure here. I think it's on here. Yeah. A proposed executive order. I've not read the whole thing, but briefly skimming over it, they are basically talking about the evil naked shorts and short sellers, and they want to get
It's not
rid of
even
the
the
market
evil
maker
naked
exemption.
shorts. That's it. That's their main focus.
They want to get rid of the market maker exemption. They want to implement a pre-borrow requirement, which I'm not sure what that's supposed to exactly mean. Let me take a look here. Exclude in the over-the-counter market be subject to pre-borrow requirements, building on the precedent established in the Commission's 2009 emergency order, which temporarily imposed a pre-borrow requirement on certain financial firms to prevent
That was in
market
2008.
disruption.
That was they like tried that, and they ended up taking it off, and like studies later were like it actually harmed more than it
Wow,
helped.
imagine that. They also want failure to deliver fees. Those already exist, right? Like if you get penalized if you don't.
So, well, they do have to pay for, long, if it's, I think didn't Doug say 4 days? Like after that, but then like if they go on threshold list or something like that, then it's not just like margin requirements and things like that. It's a cash fine, like for every day that it's on there, like for whoever. But I mean, they're still subject, if for failures to deliver, they're still subject to, margin requirements and, all kinds of regulatory stuff. Like, and it doesn't behoove them, like, especially market makers, to fail to deliver because they don't get paid until the trade settles.
Yeah.
So like Doug's like, he's like, send it to T0. Like, we're fine with that. The faster it settles, the better for us, because that's how we get paid. So like there's a fundamental misunderstanding about trade settlement.
Well, I think it's what I'd call an intentional fundamental misunderstanding.
Especially from Dave Lauer.
Well, and that's been my problem with Dave is it's one of those tell me the incentives and I'll tell you the outcomes kind of thing, where Dave has a platform where he basically has and this activist group that are both directed at, retail traders. And it'd be one thing if it was like a broad swath of retail traders like us and all these other people out there, but like his chief communications have been with the crazies, let's be honest. And so
to tell the truth,
money gets his toast gets buttered by pandering to these people.
Well, and he's been tweeting a lot today. I know you're not on X, but especially about Doug.
I saw those tweets too. Yeah, where he's basically
getting out. I responded to him because like he's not a dummy. Like he was in the industry, and like so he was talking about Doug and talking about how he's a hypocrite, and you know how Ken Griffin and Doug fought against internalization, like all of that stuff, and that is true. But so my response to him was, "Hey Dave, do you feel the same about all market makers or just Doug specifically? Personal question mark." I asked because, as you know, makers' concerns were quite valid and led to implementation or revision of FINRA Rule 5310, which is best execution, NMS Rules 605, 606, and 611, which are all like market makers' concerns were that, like, because it's a competitive business, right? And that brokers could concentrate all the routing to one particular maker, whether they like, and they could make like, you know, kind of deals where it benefits the broker more to send it this way. Like there was all kinds of stuff that like outside of Reg Show that they were concerned about, and they were valid, but those issues got not resolved, but at least addressed. And then the best execution rule comes about. I mean, you can pull up the NMS rules for 605, 606, and 611. They each kind of talk about different things, but like so clearly the regulators thought that the makers' concerns were valid because there are rules now for these things, and like disclosure, because before they didn't even have to disclose what they were paying, you know, or the money that they were collecting or what they were getting paid to route orders. Now they do. And that was one of the concerns of the makers then. So this whole like narrative of, oh, the makers didn't even like it and then they flipped and liked it. Well, that's because there were rules implemented that addressed the things that they were concerned about. But I didn't hear back from Dave Lauer. I assume that I won't, but it's just I think it's interesting.
Sean brought up a big point. Is like the fact that they want to get rid of the rules for basically the exemption and things like that allowed for trading, the spreads to close and trading to be easier for individual traders is kind of silly. And
well, Dave lied about, he put in there that Doug paid him to advocate for this, and that actually isn't true. Andrew from Virtue actually posted the receipt of
can you screen share that for us or
paid.
Send me the link?
Yeah, I can show you. Hold on. So he posted like, that's not true.
Well, while you're looking for that, I how you can immediately tell that this has gone to Grifter Central is the fact that Johnny Tobacco is all over this, like fucking white on.
I'm looking at it. I can see it.
Here, I'll send. I'm gonna screen share you now.
Is it this one here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Beat me to it. Yep. That's it. That's the. Whoops. What Dave was saying. He paid me to. You can read Andrew's tweet there if you want to see it.
We checked the receipts. Nice try, but we, Day and Virtue Financial, were never part of your regulatory and legislative reform club. Please stop trying to rewrite history. The truth is right here in the contract. Oof.
I mean,
you can, I don't know if you want to click on that, you can see it. What it is.
Like, what is it?
The working group participant agreement is attached shall govern participants' activities with request on to each working group that participant decides to join, including without limitation, check below, metrics and accreditation. So right there where it says regulatory and legislation reform, that box is not checked. It was for metrics and accreditation. That's what they paid for, not for regulatory and legislation reform. And then what did he say? Venue?
Me and Cavoli know the truth. You guys joined because you supported our efforts. Dude, we got you. I don't remember
You literally
this.
posted the receipt? Okay. This
This
is
was
how
to support our efforts. Doug is lying. You know you supported our efforts against internalization. And then Doug says, dude, we got you. I didn't even remember this as it was an annoyance and I tossed you a bone. You lied and Andrew caught you. You're an angry, failed industry washout. You kissed Gary's pathetic, arrogant ass. It got you nothing. Now get my monitor fixed, desktop guy.
but he was like a
Dave
desktop.
said, me, you joined my group and supported my efforts. You, here's a contract that shows we joined your group, which literally had a clause about supporting our efforts. You're lying and you know it. Everyone else knows it. I have an email with your permission to tell other firms you are a member to help recruit them. GFY. And then support for mission. During the term of its membership in healthy markets, the member is expected to work closely with a diverse set of market participants, regulators, and lawmakers to bring substantive improvements to the way trading markets for financial instruments function in order to increase fairness while driving economic growth. Healthy Markets intends to achieve its mission primarily through a combination of education and advocacy that results in government policy initiatives.
And I said, Davey, sorry you got tossed out of the industry. Guess you sucked. Like, but the point was that the top one there was that
Well, so he said
you had options to check and they didn't pick one.
Right.
I think.
Right. So it was like that's what they signed up for was metrics in accreditation, not the regulatory reform group. So I don't know if Flower's trying to say it's a blanket thing, like, and maybe it costs more. I don't really know what he's trying to say there, but yeah, he was like so he worked at Citadel. He was a desktop support for Citadel. I don't really know what that means, but yeah.
Sounds like IT.
Well, he also, he helped with IEX too. Like he helped start IEX.
Oh, so
yeah, they're having it out on Twitter today.
Yeah, good time. I love that. Fight.
Give us stuff to talk about. Yeah. Speaking of give us stuff to talk about, I believe this next topic, you are the star of the show here, Platinum.
What did I do? Oh. Well, actually, I will give credit to Ocelot. He's the one who first kind of even pointed that out, and I didn't even know that he was the expert witness in Virtue's lawsuit against the SECs.
This kind of circles around to the discussion we had at the beginning where everyone's like, oh, Donald Trump will save us. It's like,
what is
he's
this?
a normal politician. And
I was just congratulating Virtue's expert witness on becoming the new SEC chair.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and have you heard like the MMTLP spaces with this discussion about, they were like, well, is he now just like on the commission? Like, but he's not the chair? Like,
no, he's the chair.
The discussions that I listened to, like, and they're like, well, what about UADA? And so he was just interim, right? I'm not sure that they know. I'm not sure that they know
probably don't even understand that word. Yeah.
Right. But like literal brain busters happening about if he's on the commission or if he's the chair.
Oh,
and I'm like,
it's pretty clear. It's an appointment.
It's so clear. And I mean, what's this?
Doug actually responded to me on that.
Let me scroll down.
Are you able to see it? Oh no, because he has a protected account.
Yeah.
So
I can't see it because
I can show you his response.
Sounds good.
I know he needs another expert now.
He said, He said, "Dang, I was prepared to be in shambles, looking to cover my Sears." So that's
oh
why.
my goodness.
That's why
Oh.
I said I have firsthand knowledge that Bert will be covering their Sears.
You guys were on top of the same joke. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Shambles.
Absolute shambles.
Well, and what's so crazy is that like they try to pretend like, especially Curtis, like that he's anti-regulation and like, you know, all this, like they are desperate for it. They are begging for regulations, begging. They hate Hester Peirce because she is anti-regulation and she voted no to all of Gary Gensler's
She
over
always voted no to
regulation,
everything. Yep.
everything, because she's not for over regulation, and they hated her for it, right? And so like they talk out of both sides of their mouth, and it's always so funny to listen to them talk, like, and they try to talk like they're these like Heritage Foundation, like deeply right conservative people. Meanwhile, they're like trying to cancel Gasparino. They engage in like
won't take responsibility for their personal actions.
Oh yeah, like, and like they talk a lot, like a lot of the things they talk about is very socialistic, and like so it's really funny to watch them wade through things, because it's like
You might say they're in shambles.
or at least some sort of identity crisis, or like existential crisis or something.
Well, they've been in an existential crisis for 2.5 years now, so
yeah, they don't seem to really support their own ideas, or I don't know. It's
Well, it
just
depends on the
crazy.
day of the week, you know, the week of the month, the year, even. Like
it changes day to day, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of
but like I don't know if you guys, well, I don't know if you did. I know that the boys didn't, but they had an entire conversation about Lisa McLean's bill and how abolishing FINRA, that like, because I guess FINRA has $1.6 billion, you know, that's allocated to them, and they were discussing how that money could be divided amongst 65,000 MMTLP shareholders. And
why would it even be given to them?
They would each get $24,000 apiece.
Why?
Well, the best part was the anger that came. Like, this guy comes in and he presents this idea, like, this is great, guys. This is how we're going to get our money. This is how we're going to get paid out. We're all going to get $24,000. It's going to be amazing, right? Can you believe that? And they're like, fuck that. I better get more than that. Like, like $24,000. They can shove that up their ass.
Shows you how greedy these motherfuckers
This is how they're talking. And I mean, I get it. Like, some of these guys, like Platt, and I know someone who has, you know, we heard that he's got like 250K in MMAT, 250K in MMTLP. Like, yeah, the 24,000 doesn't even scratch the itch on that. But like, you have zero right now. So, but it's just so funny, because they're like, well, if FINRA is abolished, then we should get that money. And I'm like, that's the most socialist thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, what are you talking about? After they just finished talking about, you know, how much they love Donald Trump. It's like, you guys are all over the place. Yeah, you're all over the place as far like
they're there for whatever gets them money. Like that's the thing about these
stand for something or fall for anything. I think here,
and it's not different between they're just greedy motherfuckers who are looking for a justification for their greed.
Yeah, but
pick a hill, die on it.
Literal anger came from this person saying this, and I was just like, wow, like to think that you're owed the money that FINRA has. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. The whole thing's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy.
So, speaking of people in shambles,
these are the conversations happening.
We'll transition. Speaking of people in shambles, we're going to transition from MMTLP to How about AMC?
Nice.
No,
Also,
great.
I did DM Scott Traudt and invited him
Mhm.
for any Saturday, so I'll keep you posted if he ever decides to come on.
Excellent. So Ethan has apparently made landfall on Reddit, and I love this post in particular because not only is it downvoted into oblivion, not only is everyone in the comments.
Oh my god! Even you gave him a downvote.
Well,
you gotta
he spent
upvote
the
it,
entire thing trying to
You gotta-
track me down to give me shit through this whole thing, and
Oh my
everyone
God.
downvoting him and upvoting him. Like this is an AMC subreddit for AMC people, recovering AMC addicts, and they're telling him, "Fuck off."
Reddit truly is the last bastion of Athenian democracy.
And what I love about this post that he did is it's clearly copy pasted from somewhere else, because you can tell that it has the playlist link on there. And with the
What does that mean? What's a playlist leak? What is that?
Playlist link to the YouTube
link.
playlist for his,
Okay, got it.
his conspiracy theory nonsense. This was clearly copied from somewhere else, probably Twitter. And instead of reposting the link, he copied the shorthand there. But when you do that, you do this and you do the copy, it doesn't take the link. So the link ended up being dead, and then it says via YouTube, which is another good sign. This was originally posted on
From Twitter. Yeah.
Posted here, and a slapdash fucking completely. This is how incompetent this motherfucker is.
What even is? I can't even see what that is. What is he talking about? Ah, thank you.
I forget that I put this over on my big monitor, which is literally a television, so I can just read it by sight.
Who's Daniel Mayer?
This is, if you remember the AMC lawsuit, when they posted the settlement stuff, they had to post an affidavit of all this different stuff. That's what he's bitching about here, is the affidavit for the materials in support of the settlement in the AMC lawsuit.
He's still on the AMC lawsuit?
Yes! 2 years fucking later, and he's still on it. In fact, we just had the anniversary of the lawsuit fucking 2 months ago in February.
That's crazy.
Starting this May will be the anniversary of when you can start sending in your objections. That's how crazy this is.
I mean, the appeals didn't even, Rose Izzo, didn't she,
Rose
her
Izzo
appeals
appealed
failed,
to the
right?
state Supreme Court and was summarily rejected. She asked for certiorari from the Supreme Court, and they ignored the fuck out of her. No shock and surprise there. But he then went about starting to post videos. At least this time he figured out how to fucking post the link. But that was not the apex of the stupidity. How about trying to post to Wall Street Bets? Your crazy, unhinged diatribes, and having the people on Wall Street Bets tell you to take a hike, Jack, and don't you come back. No more, no more, no more. And he also had people commenting in the comments.
It probably got automatically deleted by the auto mod, because I think if you put AMC, it automatically.
Well, this one didn't, because he got comments. And he was talking about the Derek Van Zant stuff in his normal.
Oh my god, the mod says
line.
I don't know what you're trying to ask or say.
This one is take some accountability for
what were the elements of Project? What were the elements?
What were the elements of Project Popcorn? When was it initialized?
Wait, what are the elements of harassment? Right?
Yeah. What are you even saying? Why would anyone with real money invest in your comment and take you seriously? Project Popcorn, what the fuck? You're fucked, bro. No other way around it. AMC's a dead cat. Wall Street Bets has been compromised. We will make sure to subpoena you. Another one of his favorite lines. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do something really quick because for those of you that are still part of the Discord, we do have him on the soundboard. 1 second here.
Oh lordy. Oh god. Do I have to turn my volume down or?
But anyway, This is just silliness. I mean, peak Ethan here. He's. I don't know what to say anymore because he's still banging his head against this this whole thing. I do remember my favorite comment from the AMC Zone one was he was talking about how his video on YouTube got over 1,000 views, and the response back was, "Yeah, well, even normal people stop and slow down to rubberneck a car crash."
Yep.
Which I think is pretty fair at this point of the AMC situation, because that horse has been beaten several times and is dead on the side of the road. And you look at the financial statements for that company can tell you exactly what the problem is here. It was not some grand hedgy conspiracy theory. It was a company that over leveraged itself and then ran into a black swan event brick wall that was COVID. And then now they can't dig themselves out of the ditch. But one last real quick thing dealing with Ethan before we move on. This is another one of our side quests. Ethan, on his first motion for sanctions, the court here gave us this wonderful ruling.
This is the one where he's trying to get sanctions against the state?
Yes, against the assistant district attorney. This is his first motion of sanctions. The court, he also submitted a second and third motion for sanctions that the court has said will be dealt with later and will be jointly dealt with as a pair because they go over the same stuff. Plaintiff Ethan Leibovitz, this is going to be really short, so I'm just going to blast through this whole thing. Plaintiff Ethan Leibovitz brings his pro se action as well as other federal and New York state laws. Plaintiff presently moves for a Rule 11 sanction against the Assistant Attorney General Michael Berg, counsel for the state defendants, for allegedly false and misleading declarations by Mr. Berg on defendant's motion to dismiss. For the reasons discussed herein, the motion is denied. Rule 11 applies to both attorneys and pro se litigants in guarding against frivolous and vexatious and scurrilous lawsuits. Plaintiff seeks Rule 11 sanctions against Michael Berg for his false and misleading declaration in support of defendant's motion to dismiss. I love that we get the scarecrows again around false and misleading. Plaintiff argues that Mr. Berg's declarations contain false and misleading statements where Mr. Berg admitted to listening to the two, for the record, audio recordings relevant to the matter and still filed his motion to dismiss. Yeah, because your claims are bullshit. Plaintiff argues that the motion to dismiss was improper, where there is purported contradictory evidence between the FTR recording and the defendant's statements or judicial orders. Plaintiff further states that Assistant Attorney General Berg's motion to dismiss constitutes an attempt to mislead the court regarding factual record. In the alternative, plaintiff seeks sanctions against Mr. Berg under the court's inherent authority pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1927. I love that we get like only two paragraphs on the merits of what Ethan wants. Plaintiff's motion is without merit. Other than plaintiff's conclusory statements, there is nothing to show that Assistant Attorney General Berg's declaration is false or misleading. While plaintiff may disagree with orders by the defendants that Mr. Berg represents, plaintiff provides no basis for his claims that Mr. Berg's declaration is false. Accordingly, plaintiff's motions for sanctions is denied. The court is respectively directed to mail. The clerk of the court is respectively directed to mail a copy of this order to plaintiff. Have a nice day. It was nice knowing you. Which is generally how Ethan's court proceedings go.
An effort was made.
An effort was made indeed. The state defendants were also granted an extension of time out to, I believe, the 20th to respond to the other two motions to dismiss. So we'll see how that goes. I'm expecting a lot more L's being chucked into Ethan's face here shortly. But I don't think that's a particular surprise to anybody.
Next, what he's used to.
Huh?
That at least it's what he's used to.
Yeah. Why change the precedent we've established that Ethan is a soft set?
I don't know, but I see a weird email in your future from
Oh no. Oh no. Well, now that he knows my Reddit, I'm sure I'll get plenty of weird DMs like, "Wow, I'm gonna be suing you for defamation." Oh my goodness.
I'll see you in
Craziness.
federal court.
Yeah, I'll see you in federal court. Okay, well, you drive your happy ass to Kansas. That's where you'll have to file. Anyway.
I mean, I'm sure he would be happy to drive there, but I'm not sure. Is he even allowed in that state? It's where Adam Aaron is.
Yeah, he may get hauled off for a bench warrant. That'd be funny. We have some more Bed Bath & Beyond shenanigans. Maybe you have the lowdown on this one, Platinum.
So Jake. Okay, so I mean, Jake has been talking about this third-party release settlement. Basically, he's trying to say that there is an asset sale transaction, which is obviously not true because the asset sales are complete. He's trying to say there's an asset sale transaction that's connected to these third-party releases, which are already done. So not even sure why that's relevant anymore, but he's just trying to, have something to talk about, I guess. But anyone with a brain knows it's obviously not real. It doesn't even make sense. Goldberg agrees. So this is an email to Goldberg and a response from Goldberg asking about
his iPhone.
Obviously.
From my iPhone. Another one to put to the sent to my iPhone archive.
Just to keep things consistent.
I love it. It's amazing. It's like probably one of the more funny. Like other than what was the crazy guy's name with the $10 billion claim? Remember that? And it was like all like bot nonsense. Hilarious. Okay, so other than that, like the sent from my iPhone.
What was his name? I can't remember.
Iconic. Brandon Meadows.
Brandon Meadows affidavit.
Yeah. So other than Brandon,
the $10 million
$10 billion. It's
$10 billion
for $10 billion. It's like no, it's a claim that's gonna go away, but whatever. So he says, "Hi, Michael. There has been an odd rumor going around on Twitter about the BBBY third-party release settlement leading to a large windfall for former shareholders. This has been going around for quite some time now, like literally quite some. I had a space call with Jake in November of 2023, and I'm pretty sure he was talking about it then.
I'm pretty sure before the craziness all went down, we did go over that briefly. Like we didn't go over the whole thing because it was hours long, but we kind of alluded to it.
To what?
Well, I mean, I sure hope that you have seen the latest.
Were you talking about the space call that you were in with him? Because I know that
Yep. I'm pretty sure he brought it up then. Please take a look at some examples below, and then he, links a few. And of course, Goldberg responds and says, "This is false. Again, although I am very sympathetic to the shareholders, it is not anticipated that the shareholders will receive any money whatsoever sent from my iPhone." And there's more though. Joseph has one more email that he had posted, and then he said that there will be more in the future. Yeah, that's the other one. Because I guess I don't even know how that got so stupid. I can't even. People were trying to say that the bonds got paid off, which makes zero sense.
Oh yeah, because of how they moved the what was it, the gift cards, and therefore that meant that they were getting paid off, or that was the stupid logic train, right?
No. They stopped showing up on something. They were
on
refreshing.
Pacer.
Yeah, on Pacer. They stopped showing up.
I guess it wasn't showing up as an unsecured creditor on Pacer anymore.
Something like that. Yeah.
Which what the fuck? You guys, the PCR comes out every quarter. Don't look at the one Jake looks at because he's clearly looking at the wrong one every quarter. But look at the very first one that comes out in the big group, and then you'll see all the money where it's
been distributed
from and where it's going.
Yeah. And Goldberg said that they're going to be putting something out next month, right? That shows the
PCR will be this month, probably on the 23rd.
Yeah,
exactly.
There you go.
So
well, he's going to put out. Didn't he say that they were going to put out something about?
It'll be in the PCR.
Okay.
So he says, no, we have not paid anything to unsecured creditors. As set forth in the plan, unsecured creditors are still expected to get between 0 and 3%. Well, the plan said 2.5%. So slow down with all that bullishness, Goldberg. The banks are still owed hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions.
Well, they are. You can see only so far class 3 and class 4 have been paid out. Like you can literally see, or if you look in his request to extend the deadline to do the claims, like it also explains every single thing they've done there. Again, like remember we did a video on it when I think maybe the second time he had requested to extend the claims. It's all the same shit. Like it's still the same thing that's going on. Like what I said in that video is still currently true. Like he's still going through the claims, still trying to collect money from all these, various lawsuits. And that's it.
Yeah. Well, and the board they settled that, right?
Settled. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not sure for how much. No one knows, but we'll find out because it'll be, cash transfer.
Well, and then I don't know, Corax, if you've been, this was kind of old news because now they have found the key to how they're going to get paid. I'll share this with you here.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I was listening to a space last night. They're literally celebrating. People were coming up and they were like, I'm so happy for you guys. Here you go. So the IRS released an interesting written determination on September 29, 2023 involving butterfly transactions, distributing 1 through 8 and companies A through D 30 IP agreements along with a bunch of shit I don't understand.
Well, if you don't understand it, maybe you should shut the fuck up until you do understand it.
So there are 38 butterfly companies. IRS written determinations are documents the IRS is required to make open to public inspection pursuant to the provisions of IRS, like so on and so forth. Let me see. And then, of course, we have bro, this is fucking it, right? We won.
Amy sent that to me. I was dying.
How did you find this? Were you just searching for that date? And how did you know?
Yeah, that is a good question, though. Like, what are you guys doing?
You can search different sections of the IRS code.
Did he get that from Sears?
I was searching 368 for reorganization.
Oh my God, he probably was. He probably did get that
100%.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so it's tax code. Well, what an incredible find! Look at this.
Ooh, look a flow chart.
Yeah, this genius.
A flow chart of stupidity.
Here you go. This is great.
What even is that?
Well, it's the internal spin 1 butterfly transaction. I mean, that doesn't look like a butterfly to you. It looks like a butterfly to me.
Do we know they're even talking about Bed Bath & Beyond here? Like, I don't see. Okay, I know, right? Oh, there's bonds. Okay, and baby.
Yeah,
Things
it
are
redeems
happening.
butterfly shares. I mean, like, but this is how this is how it works. So that you guys, it's an incredible find.
That basically either knows the basics of how to use AutoCAD.
It's Charlie Day. It's Charlie.
It really is. This is an always sunny moment.
Here's I drafted a post a couple days ago about. Where does he talk about? He said, I've been trying to piece together this corporate structure for a while, and it looks like everything is clicking into place. I genuinely think this is it. So.
Cool.
Joseph Asada, the reason I said this is because Joseph, he either quote tweeted or replied to this in some manner. And it has absolutely nothing to do with BBBY. This is just their, their way of
yeah, where are those arrows? The arrows are just leading to nowhere.
Stripping out all the nuance and complexity. Like, he basically said, if this was the case, this would have been in the plan. And just pulling some random IRS code, which I have to assume comes from Sears, the guy, like it's fucking so.
I mean, this could have been
ridiculous,
from when they. Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know what the fuck they're looking at. Okay, here we go. Like, if anyone
So-
actually like gives a real shit and wants to know what's happening,
That's
So
a
to
great
answer-
question. Where are those really 3 long
I can
arrows?
That's
tell
what I'm
you
saying.
exactly
coming
where they're
from?
coming from. There's just a
where?
big box that's off screen that just says the Jews.
Oh
And,
my
and that's where all of those arrows
Considering
are
how
coming from.
anti-Semitic Michael
Say
is, I would not be
something
surprised.
anywhere.
well, the IRS does come up right here, so they are.
But I mean, I think it's more to do with this butterfly transaction, and that they're. I think there is something called that, but it's not in regards to DK. But what is it?
Yeah.
DK Butterfly
2023-0930.
29. Yeah.
29, whatever.
Yeah.
They could have
DK
saved
Butterfly,
us a lot
like,
of pain and
it's
misery.
it's a very loose
Yeah.
connection to what, like, a butterfly transaction and DK Butterfly.
They could
But
have saved
this
us
has
a
them
lot
believing
of,
that there's 38 entities, and that there's somehow going to be some.
Well, there was when they declared bankruptcy.
There was 38
So,
entities.
pretty sure. I think so. They had like subsidiaries, so
38
I can't remember the exact number.
can't be 38
Why?
because I don't remember seeing that number of 38 subsidiaries anywhere.
Yeah,
in
I
any
don't
of these
remember. I don't think it was
bankruptcy
38, but
Yeah.
there was a bunch. I mean, it literally doesn't matter.
I feel like I mean, no, it literally doesn't. But I feel like if there was 38 subsidiaries, I would have been like, 38 subsidiaries, that's a lot. Like, I would have remembered that, and I don't. But I mean, you took that off the screen way too fast. Kreikel
Oh,
burns dreidels in his free time.
Yeah, I had it up for a while there. Look, I'm telling you guys, if we have a time machine, we should go back in time and tell them, you can't call it butterfly. Call it you're fucked. Just make it very clear and blunt. Just don't give them any room. Just call it you're fucked.
Yeah, but then they'd be like, "Oh, it's time to fuck." Like, all right, bullish.
Pulte fucks only the young.
Exactly. Super bullish, no matter what.
I like to believe his office desk there in DC has that.
Yeah, do you think he has it on his desk? His gold
Yeah,
dildo?
exactly.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
His gold dildo just sitting right next to his like ink pen. But he's like Dr. Evil. He's like, nah.
That way, all the employees down there at Fannie and Freddie be like, I need to find a new life decision right now.
That is exactly how you like set yourself up
They had
for a
78
hostile workplace.
subsidiaries.
78.
Mhm.
That's insane. That's a
I'll
lot.
show you.
But not 38.
Nope.
Oh, you got anyone here?
Yeah. Let's see, first day declaration. There was 78, and then it shows you right here. Boop. Like,
Hey, a chart where we can actually see where all the arrows come and go from.
Where's the weird lines and the things leading to nowhere?
that's it.
Well,
I mean, and it literally is just they sold the name.
yep.
They sold the
And so they had to
IP,
make
they
up a
sold
new
the
one.
name. They had to make up a new name. That's literally all it is. It means nothing.
DK was David Caston. That was their general counsel that did the bankruptcy. So
they made sure that his name was memorialized for all time.
but remember, GC was general counsel, but then Jake said it stood for going concern.
Yeah. Brilliant.
From the fee
Absolutely
statements.
brilliant.
Absolute genius right there. The face of genius.
Oh, and so that meant that they got to go
Brilliant!
like
Yeah.
bid or
Like,
whatever.
they sold the name. Like they can no longer be called that. They have to, and it was still at the time, right? They were still like, weren't they still trying to operate? Like, didn't they still have some stores? So they had to be called
to sell
something,
off, probably, yeah.
right? To sell off.
Well,
Like,
they didn't change the name until
September 21st,
complete.
2023.
Yeah.
When the plan
when
was
they-
finalized.
Well, the plan was like technically finalized on the 29th, but it was approved on the 15th.
Well, this says as part of the bankruptcy confirmation order. So in the bankruptcy confirmation, it was there that they were going to be changing the name.
Right. Yeah.
But
like they actually asked him about like the name change, I think in the bonds or something. Like they asked the plan administrator about that.
I bet they're like, we should have just called ourselves like,
Shares are gone.
Shares are gone.
liquidation station. Like what? Call it something else that doesn't lead these people down the most ridiculous rabbit holes. But
No, it's fun.
Then again, we wouldn't have a show if that didn't happen.
Station sounds pretty good. Like I think I would have gone with that just
Speaking of
giggles.
Speaking of another company where the song seems to never end, we've got.
Oh my god, this thing! Yeah, it's like a cockroach.
Mullen,
what is this?
Finally,
Mullen.
because Jim
Mullen.
got its judgment on you must pay us. The Mark Bazile end of that lawsuit was withdrawn because you
A lot
you
of
do not
withdrawals
pass go.
happening.
So there's one part of this that I'm going to show here. First of all, I love whenever Sean dunks on Scam Investor.
Yes.
But happy anniversary of the newest reverse split.
Oh my god, I know. I can't believe it happened again. That's so crazy. When do you think they'll be under $1 again?
With rumors of the 7th.
Well, yeah,
Which
because
is
I don't
crazy.
think I had it
Like,
here.
the NASDAQ rules said that if they go below $1 within a year of doing a reverse split, they're immediately
delisted.
delisted.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if that it didn't take effect in the last one. I wonder if it will this time.
Well, also
maybe
NASDAQ
someone
rules
will-
say their market cap has to be what, over $100,000 too, right?
Yeah, what's the market cap on this?
Literally $100,000. I'm pretty sure.
Let me take a look at it really quick.
It's
as of right now.
$100,000.
What, the actual listing standard?
Like, what's their market cap now?
I'm pretty
Whoa.
sure was 100K last
Market
week.
cap as of close was. That can't be right. It's saying a market cap of one. No, that can't be right. Same one. Oh, it's because they haven't adjusted for the reverse split yet. They were saying it's a market cap. It says still on Webull the market cap is a market cap of $1,320.
Well, how many
Did
shares?
you see?
Oh, wow.
Bailey sent
Jesus.
a screenshot of like a space that Busy Brands had, and like if you bought Mullen when he had that space, because it was with that scammer guy, your cost
battery guy?
basis, yeah, your
Ooh.
cost basis would be over $1 billion.
Like this should tell you right now that you should just not.
It's
It's
like
not.
one to 13.5 billion now, or maybe even before this split. I don't know, but something ridiculous.
Like this over here is the COVID highs. Literally billions of dollars to break even. You have been diluted into oblivion.
And beyond.
Beyond. And beyond indeed. Like I don't know what to tell you here. This is bad news bears stuff. I have some other BAM stuff, but I'm saving that for stupid tweet of the week because man, he went off the deep end as of late.
Is he vibrating?
Oh, he's very much vibrating. He's vibrating in the he has gone full tinfoil. We'll get to that in a sec.
Oh boy.
Amy, you're going to get your special time in the spotlight now. Yay!
Oh, okay. What I do?
I'll let you take over on the evils of biotech naked shorting.
Oh yeah.
Kristen the hack.
Well, I mean, so she posted this Wall Street Journal thing about China's biotech advances threatens U.S. dominance, and she says that it's due to the naked short and settlement process. And you want to go back to mine? my tweet. Yeah, so I said naked shorting, illegal, and trade settlement, an efficient T+1, are holding back biotech in the US? Question mark. Headline: unsuccessful, unprofitable, and possibly fraudulent companies, continued dilution of shareholders advances US biotech. Wait, you missed the best part. Tag.
I was wanting to make sure because
tag favorite penny stock bumper. Because she, in that tweet, she tags Ham the Short
Short Killer.
Yeah.
Lol. Red flag.
Or like what a ridiculous theory that naked shorting. I just said theory and Siri popped up on my phone. That naked shorting and settlement is the reason that the U.S. is lagging China in biotech. Doesn't have anything to do with the fact that China steals IP and, whatever the fuck else. Let's not talk about the real issues. Let's just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. It's so stupid. And it's just engagement posting and that post just in particular, she annoys me in general. With that post in particular, just really annoyed me.
She annoys me. She annoys me in general because when I did have an ex account, not only does she say all this stupid shit, but if you're critical of her, then she insta blocks you. She
didn't block me yet. I keep expecting it.
Yet
I'm gonna get blocked. But
definitely gonna get blocked for sure.
Yeah. But anyone who's quoting, Ham the Short Killer and that Pedro guy,
she also likes Scam Investor too, and just all
all of them, all the they're all there, the usual suspects. But she was a traffic or weather reporter or something in New York.
Her claim to fame was she was a New York local news reporter during 9/11 or something like that.
Yeah. And this is what you're doing. You're getting caught up in penny stock
drama,
pumping something. And it was so funny because I wonder if I can find the tweet. Do I have the picture? Sam mentioned one of the big stocks, and someone replied please don't talk about this stock because all the stocks you talk about go down. It was really funny.
That's great. I love it.
Oh, here you go. So he says, rumor alert, hearing DJT will have a major gap up out of Goldman Sachs. He said, I don't own it and wish you the best. Mm-hmm. And then he tagged, his G-Bucks and finger. And he says, let's see the reason why. If he forces stock settlement, we run like crazy also. And someone said, please don't jump on DJT. Everything you talk about goes down.
Yeah.
But, anything any of these bumpers talk about goes down. Speaking of
platinum sparkles. Today, in an MMTLP space, that Gandalf guy was talking. You missed it. And he was talking about CMK. What is the one?
CMKM?
Yes. So he was talking about how, they blamed it on the execs. The execs did nothing wrong, and the SEC twisted it. And
dude, the DOJ got involved there.
So, shit, I'm gonna get the audio for you so you can hear him talk about it.
Oh, good. Yes, I would love that. Get it for tomorrow.
Yeah, the way that he talks about for donuts on Sunday.
Exactly.
The way that he talks about it, and I didn't know about this case. You're the.
Oh, I know all about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So never mentioned the unregistered shares. He basically said that there was, I think he said 1 trillion, maybe naked shorts. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I was dying. I was like,
it was over 700 billion unregistered shares that they illegally sold into the market.
That they illegally sold into the market.
Right.
Yeah. So it's so
the transfer agent was a part of it. Their lawyer was a part of it. It was a big.
And he mentions that Traudt was, talks about it in her book and
she wrote about it. Indeed.
Right. But that version of it compared to your version of it is
Well, it's not
crazy.
even my version. It's like the Department of Justice's
Yeah,
version.
no, I know. I'm gonna get it for you so you can hear it. And yeah, we can
perfect.
we can replay
We
it.
can chat about it over donuts tomorrow.
Sunday.
Yeah, we
Sunday
can even save it for a good live stream too.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
it's so crazy. Like the actual facts of it versus like how it's being sold is insane. And I just was dying for you to be there. Sorry, totally just drifted off left, but it reminded me of that.
Well, that's all right. We're just talking about more penny stock scammers again.
Yeah,
We're back out of the woodwork. Now, I will say we do have an agent inside the Discord helping us with breaking news.
Oh.
About their most
Well, I joined the Discord because hello. Why wouldn't I? I saw that they were opening up their Discord again, so I was like, all right.
I'll let you.
Don't mind if I do.
For what?
That's all. For Atlas. Their Atlas
Oh,
Discord
did you?
back.
Did you join? Yeah.
Of course I did. Because why not?
Aren't they making you pay now?
Are they what? Oh, no,
making
it's
you
not.
Pay now?
No. It's all for free, except you can pay for like certain things, such as what can you pay for?
Well, Sam, you may have missed it, but I had strategic placement of Junkin Jana's name here earlier for the ladies to talk about on Monday. But no, I don't think that's. I think that just is.
Corax is suppressing them.
He's suppressing my biz
with your username. Where the hell was it? I wanted to see like if they're
protecting me from the wrath of the wine ants. Sorry, plot.
What am I suppressing?
My name.
Amy's tits.
The boobs.
My name goes across.
Yes, like we have to keep this child friendly here because there's totally little children staying up to listen about.
What is not child friendly? Like,
right? I mean, they literally keep children alive for months. Like, what do you? All right, so you can pay.
I too hope to one day share the elements of harassment with my children.
What constitutes the elements of harassment?
All right, you can pay for colored usernames to post GIFs, chatting rights and pro chat. You can manage your own personal voice or streaming channel. Username displayed under a champion role. Basically, you can see all the channels for free, but if you want like all this random crap, then you can pay for it.
Basically,
if you want to talk to them, you can pay for it.
To pay for stock tips, pay to basically boost the server kind of stuff.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Do you get to pay $7,000 to join the Knights of the Round Table, or what was it from the room? I
can never remember. The War Room.
The War
Room. It's a knockoff Andrew Tate. Oh my goodness. Well, not everything is rainbow and sunshines, however, over in Mr. Zach Morris world. I guess they were promoting some of these stocks and they did not do so hot as of late. Newsflash, kids, don't mess with penny stocks. They're highly volatile, especially all of those look like, oh dear, they're
or short them, I guess, right?
Yeah, or short them.
Where's the palm?
They're all healthcare stocks. They're probably research stocks, which is why they're probably
don't short them.
Don't short them and don't long them. They're like both ways. They're just not good.
This is why the U.S. biotech is advancing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want to contribute to the United States collapse of biotechnology. So forget it.
It's probably a settlement issue. Universal Media Group, like what are these companies? I bet they're shittiest companies.
The Media Group probably isn't, but like the.
I wonder if people have figured out like it. I mean, obviously, people have figured out that like by the time he announces it to you, he's already in position. So like,
oh yeah,
maybe they don't all rush in like they used to.
So yeah, I'm not going to show it up on the screen, but I did want to give an update on the whole Coffeezilla Logan Paul lawsuit. It definitely looks like that they've dropped the going after his, records thing that we had talked about previously, where they were like, "Hey, bro, you basically already have this stuff. Why are you asking for it from us?" And now the new angle is they're trying to go after Todd the lawyer, the one that's doing the Crypto Zoo class action lawsuit, because obviously he had communications for the YouTube videos that he did, because obviously the lawyer was on one of those videos. So they're basically going the Pulte route of, obviously you had communications with his lawyer, so obviously they must be nefarious and coordinated in some way, and that it wasn't an objective investigation. It was clearly at the direction of the lawyer of the class action lawsuit to defame Logan Paul. That seems to be the direction that's going. Again, I want to preface that's what it looks like right now, because again, I haven't gotten the chance to go over the documents and some of the there was a lawyer that's also covering it that I wanted to listen to some of his stuff, but it seems to be that that's the direction that it's going in that lawsuit, where they're going for the angle that there was some sort of collusion kind of thing going on. Because if you just go down the route that they were going, I don't think there was anything that was going to really help Logan Paul there, considering, like I said, you already had these communications. They were just given over to me. That's basically the update I only have on that. We do have some updates. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to log back in here, and because we do have some updates in the Logan Paul, not Logan Paul stuff, in the Andrew Tate stuff. We knew this stuff, though. This was posted in there, that there was individuals that were basically hired to go after the Jane Doe defendant in the Andrew Tate defamation case, the one that had basically tipped off, that led to the second raid of Andrew Tate's compound in Romania. I find it kind of hilarious, while I'm working to get back up the Palm Beach County stuff, that he scurried himself off back to Romania after every state he stepped foot in started working on an investigation. First it was
including
Florida,
the
then it was
U.S., right?
Yeah. We did learn about that last week, that was brought up in the case here.
Britain's ready to charge him. They've asked to have him extradited.
So the new stuff that we have learned about since then is that we originally knew about the notice of the confidential filing, and that there is a potential, and that we had the potential U.S. charges against him and other things. Basically, the defense had asked for an emergency order to enjoin the lawsuit until the U.S. investigation was concluded. Then we got Curley's response to that on the order, which I don't think that we had gotten to that. We had gotten to that in time of the show, but basically he says that he basically called for a hearing on it, but he denied the emergency order, that they're going to go through the normal process. So we had the response in opposition and the memorandum of law in support. And then we got a motion for an extension of time to respond to plaintiff's discovery requests. And then we had a status hearing on the 11th as to the lawsuit. So I'm not sure when we're going to have a hearing on this whole motion to stay the lawsuit, but that seems to be the next path forward, is that they're going to try and get the lawsuit stayed until, I mean, there's a Florida investigation, there's a federal investigation now. It seems like, look, if you're going to accuse for defamation, maybe you should wait to see the outcomes to these legal these criminal allegations that seem to be now brewing, not only in Romania, not only in Florida, not only in the federal on the U.S. federal level, but like Joey said, also in the UK. Like, it's like I don't know where they think they're going to go with this, because it seems pretty clear that everybody hates the Tates. I think we've reached that conclusion finally. I don't know why it took this long, but congratulations. We've reached peak sanity, folks. And it only took us so long.
Everybody but Kanye West.
We will be moving on to our last two subjects for the night before I guess get your stupid tweets of the week loaded up.
Alrighty.
So our first one here is to head us into the home stretch here. We got some crazy Elon Musk on the tap for us. They basically want to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud.
Oh God, sounds
Gotta
like
hear this.
Paul-T.
That they'll
I
end
wanna
up
hear
hurting
this.
Sounds like Paul-T.
countries.
It does. It really does.
You're working on helping the blind see and all of these other things. Is it really?
Oh, he's
does it
working
really
on
come
helping
down-
the blind see. Is he Mr. Beast now too? Is he Jesus fucking Christ? Is he gonna walk on water next?
Down to the basic, you're aligned with President Donald Trump, who also is a friend of mine, and that you have identified well over $100 billion in waste, fraud, abuse that our federal government never should have been spending. Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, it turns out when you take away people's, what the money they're receiving fraudulently, they get very upset, and they basically want to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud.
Meanwhile,
I think there's plenty of other reasons.
Meanwhile,
that
in
people
reality
would want to
land,
do.
it appears that the U.S. Space Force isn't taking a Doge-like cut, and the other agencies are. On Friday announced 3 big contracts. The biggest is a $6 million contract for SpaceX. Shock and surprise.
Well, he already had that, right? I mean, didn't he already have contract with them?
I'm not sure, but on the whole, like, he already had a contract with the FAA that was granted to him after they basically, without cause, terminated the Verizon contract and then just threw in SpaceX. So it seems like if it's anything that has to do with Elon Musk, it's practically untouchable. We also had we've learned about the different people that are attached to Doge that are also former ex-employees, or these, like, at best gray hat to black hat hackers who are now basically getting paid out. I will say that 1.3 million is total fees. It's not each one of these people are getting $1 million paychecks cut out of it from the Department of Labor. But
well, they're like getting weird about like how long they can be like on the payroll, right? Like, because without being government employees.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some talk about that.
Yeah. Well, and that these people who are known hackers have been known to be shady, let's say nefarious, definitely have access to every American's private and confidential information that the government holds, which is kind of fucking terrifying, especially if you look into some of these people.
I know one.
Wouldn't happen to know who that is. On the plus side, at least, apparently, I don't know who's going to be doing the auditing. That's the big question.
Probably themselves.
Yeah, that's my big problem with this is who's going to be auditing? Who watches the Watchmen in the case of who's auditing the Doge here? And of course, the last one that I saw, Musk's Doge has fired the car safety experts in the National Highway Traffic and Safety Commission who directly regulated Tesla.
Oh, perfect.
perfect.
So we don't need them.
Oh, so the next time we have an EV battery concern or an ICCU fuse concern
Or just the
or anything like
FSD
that,
shenanigans.
Who needs it?
Yeah, who needs any of that? Our last round trip is a person who we've had on the show before, and his management of the Fannie Mae. Over 100 employees were terminated for unethical conduct. I gotta get out the big finger quotes for that one, including the facilitation of fraud. Today,
Yeah, did you see his spot on the Laura Ingraham show where he did his typical well, I mean, he basically should have just said "in my opinion" the whole time.
I mean, that is his favorite line.
Yeah, but it was
it's that
some
bit from The
Yes,
Good
I
Wife.
do have that
speculation.
tweet.
Some speculation about people working in China. Yes, I did see that. Rubbing my axe. He did say
Boom, there we
somebody he
go.
fired.
I knew I
Yeah.
had it.
And it was like a environmental or like something DEI, the environmental something. I think it was environmental. They came in and said thank you because they said that the position was pointless. I was like,
What?
okay.
Yeah, cool story, bro. Very cool story. Claims that they thanked him for firing him and that it was not really necessary.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So workers are.
This is where he does the
I didn't think I had it, but I did have it.
His infamous lead on to about the bonds type stuff.
But what's going on? So workers are in China, but they work for the federal government?
We'll see. Well, essentially, the government owns about 80%. Treasury owns about 80% of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And so what we're really focused on is getting operational efficiency in these companies going again. But when people weren't showing up for work, by the way, we got rid of climate. We got rid of DEI. I actually had somebody who lost their job.
This guy is buzzword
anytime
central.
you hear anytime you hear got rid of DEI, they just mean we fired all the black
pretending
people.
to be a Doge Light is what he's trying to do.
He's trying to hide the fact that he's just not actually doing anything.
Job in the climate area today come in and thank me and say, this really wasn't a necessary job. I mean, it's crazy. People are so excited. I'm telling you, the hallways of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, these companies are going to boom again. They're going to be great American icons once again.
We've looked at the financials before. The issue is not in cost of goods sold in COGS for that business. It isn't in SG&A for that business. It's the fact that they have a bunch of these lychee preferred shares that take away from the company operates fine.
Yeah, they hold 70% of mortgages in the U.S. Yeah, I don't know what this make Fannie and Freddie great. Like people don't utilize they hold 70% of the mortgages in the U.S.
It's because it's two very familiar names. They're associated with volatility because of the involvement in the 2008 financial crisis. It's the only consistent name that people can remember of a company. No one, regular people don't remember Bear Stearns. They remember.
Who's not a huge fan of Fannie and Freddie. New SEC chair, Paul Atkins.
Yes.
All righty. Well, we also get a little bit on the worked from China thing. It was the IP address, which is what they're going to determine locations.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I bet you you'll find out that it was probably a VPN.
Well, and it's it's almost like it was how can I work China into this? And China,
I work
China
remotely.
is with the tariffs and everything. How can he just he's talented, Mr. Ripley. I've said this 100 times, right? He just mimics
whatever's popular at the time.
Mostly Trump, but the talking points and stuff like that. So if it's in there, he's gonna work it into this, right?
He bounced from that pretty quick in the interview.
Yeah, the fraud, waste, and abuse, and now let's work China in there somehow. It's all just
every company that
bullshit.
ever worked.
Pretty much. So Stupid tweets of the week. Who is ready to go first?
I'm ready.
I forgot to send mine. I've got it.
I'm ready.
All right, you show yours first, Amy, and then we'll get to Joey and Platinum, and I've got.
All right. So, I've held Mullen through thin and thinner after 6 reverse splits in the
Thin
talk
and
of a
thinner.
7th. After 6 reverse splits in the talk of a 7th, I had to speak up. If you're a shareholder, regulator, or just someone who cares about market fairness, please read this. And then he wrote a letter. Do you want me to read the letter?
I mean, if you want to.
Okay. Well, it's just like so I'm writing this as not as a financial expert or Wall Street insider, but as a regular investor, someone who believes in Mullen and the stock. And stuck with them through thin and thinner. I've owned this stock long enough to witness 6 reverse splits. Now I'm hearing rumors of a 7th. Honestly, I can't sit quietly anymore. How did you sit quietly through 6? But anyway,
I like how it's not thick and thin. It's
I feel like that's a fair question, right?
Yeah.
So let me be clear. This isn't just frustration from watching my investment get hammered day after day, because it's only a loss if I sell. It's deeper than that.
Oh, no.
Something is seriously wrong here. Reverse splits are supposed to be rare, maybe once in a company's life if things are rough. But 6? Now maybe 7? That's not normal. That's not organic. That's something else entirely. I'm not saying Mullen is perfect. Sure, they've had their issues. But this isn't some fly-by-night operation. They've got products, real partnerships, manufacturing plans, and made big acquisitions.
No.
There's something real here, something with potential. And yet the stock is constantly under pressure, often by forces most retail investors can't even see. It's like every time there's good news or momentum building, the rug gets pulled out. The stock drops, the volume dries up, and the cycle starts over. Short interest stays sky high. The company ends up back on reg show lists, and we all wonder what just happened. I've sent messages to the SEC, but let's be honest, that's just sending smoke signals into a hurricane. I'm not asking for a bailout. None of us are. We just want a fair shot, a level playing field. We want to know that someone is watching, that rules are being followed, and that retail investors aren't just being sold as cannon fodder as bigger players with deeper pockets. If you're a fellow shareholder, you're not alone. If you're a regulator or someone in the media reading this, please look into what's happening here. This isn't just about Mullen anymore. It's about what's allowed to happen in our markets, unchecked, unseen, and completely unchallenged. Thanks for reading. Father, master electrician, small business owner, shareholder, just trying to understand what's really going on.
I don't know about that last part.
So,
that was amazing.
So in that, he says, I've held through thin and thinner with 6 reverse splits and now rumors of a 7th, and then says that there is something wrong with the markets in the system.
Not the company.
Well, not the company. not that any of the things that he believes to be true are not, or that the as much money as they're paying himself, including David Mishry, is not,
let's take a look at something here.
It's insane to me.
It's not it's the system. It's not the company. When you look at something like,
it's just the meme with the guy with the gun. And he's just like
here's
why
Nolan
would the SEC do this,
brother? But like in the same time frame, let's look at the S&P. I see a trend.
But yeah, and like the meat of the letter is calling attention to this, right? But nowhere in there, like, it's literal defense of the company. They have products. They have this. Bollinger Motors. They don't have that. Like, none of that is true. But they believe
Bollinger is
that.
insolvent, but who cares about that?
But like, it's just like, you're desperately asking for someone to pay attention to this, but you're not like, hey, can someone look into Mullen the company and why this keeps happening? Like, even the last news that they used to pump it up about the battery tech, that like, it was false. It was fake.
Always.
But that's not an issue for this person.
Yeah.
Next up.
Who's out buying the Twitter bots to pump Mullen? Mine is brought to you by the visual manifestation of an adult circumcision, Stephen Mullen. You have been watching the greatest economic master strategy from an American president in history.
I mean, it's like not even a sentence
out loud.
If I could count the art of the deal tweets that I have seen, it's crazy.
Oh my God.
Which, for the record, he did not write. It is a ghost-written book. He did not write the art of the deal. I mean, if you've got money, you got a good ghostwriter, great, but don't claim author.
That was the big joke, is the people making the art of the deal thing and the people making fun of the art of the deal being, I make a stupid decision, I make excuses for that decision, I backpedal from that decision, and then I find something new to complain about. I make a stupid decision. But yeah, that is Joey's. So I guess a good time to go to is Platinum's next. Wow.
And Fidelity might be insolvent still, guys. If you heard.
Fidelity insolvent? Okay, cool story, bro. It's Kevin Malone. Of course it fucking is. The guy who's this has been his meme for all year, hasn't it?
Everything's fake, blah blah blah. What material information and data is this based on, Kevin? Not doubting you, just curious what you're currently basing this on. I wrote a huge report on Fidelity a few months back.
Yeah, we read
that.
You
can search on my profile. Oh, it didn't come true then, it won't come true now, but what's up? They might be insolvent though, I guess.
Full story.
What did Grok have to say? Because it looked like someone asked Grok for for information.
No clear signs suggest insolvent. Yes.
Public data as of April 7th, 2025 shows financial stability with positive reviews, strong performance, and no distress reports. Their Q1 2025 outlook and 2024 annual report reflect a solid stance. While private, there are $15 trillion in assets, and A-rated subsidiaries support this. Monitor ongoing, but evidence points to strength, not insolvency. Do you think? Thanks, Grok.
Thanks, Grok. Amazing.
Gotta love that.
Imagine getting owned by a freaking
AI
robot that pulls shit off Reddit.
That's been fed the shit flow that is X as its data model. Awesome. So I had teased this prior that we were going to be talking about BAM.
Oh,
this is my stupid tweet of the week. Him crying and complaining that the reason that people are calling out his bullshit is that their powerful people are paying bots to bot his comment section, and oh my goodness, to attack the AMC community and listen to Alex Jones. Sorry,
World's most credible source.
We even get the Naked Shorts and Counterfeit Shorts hashtag in the retweet. Amazing, brilliant. That is the stupid tweet. But this should not go to your vote consideration. But I do have to add. Oh my goodness, this is the best part. Are you ready for chemtrails scam investor?
Wait, what? Stop.
What is this?
Something. is it on his thing? But he basically looks at these airline contrails, and it's an X over San Francisco. He's like, hard to believe people are oblivious to this. X marks the spot over San Francisco today.
Wait, is he a flat earther though?
This guy is slowly losing his fucking mind, and it is the funniest fucking thing ever. This absolute fucking loser. Chef's kiss. Anyway, while we await results, any final thoughts on the stupidity that we've had to deal with this week? Not just in markets, but in general, because the markets have been absolutely crazy.
Markets are crazy. Everything is crazy.
Yeah,
it's all.
We're in the fourth turning. Everything is crazy.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get our rubbing my axe ape vote shortly. Any final thoughts about the week in review? Aha, there we go.
Yay!
We got one vote.
I'm
Only
exhausted.
one?
Just I
Nobody
need the
liked
line
my
to
dramatic
either
reading
go
of
up
the Mullen
or
letter.
either go down.
Well, I you have to understand, Amy. We went from having like 15 viewers usually on the live stream to like 5. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't have anything on YouTube.
That's okay. We're gonna come back. We're gonna get it back.
Back stronger than ever.
Mm-hmm.
So pending any votes from YouTube, Amy does win tonight on the strength of our ape vote. We did have.
She deserves it. I cheated with the Kevin Malone.
That is cheating.
Yeah, I mean, he always has. If I
feel like
don't
you
know where to
can
go.
just pull up his feed and everyone is the stupid tweet of the week. So
exactly.
I feel like we should probably take him off the board.
Hey,
Lyman can't go to
get out of
Kevin
here.
Malone's page
No,
anymore.
stop it. He's my go-to.
You have to put in actual work for this.
Look, look, with people like Kevin Malone
and
Bam Investor, we may just start a tinfoil hat live stream where we just go in and we got Bam Investor doing the fucking chemtrail shit now. At this point, we could just start, gaming into Hannah Reloaded's thing of going after these tinfoil crazy heads, because the streams are really being crossed at this point.
Yeah, I actually watched this YouTube video about how they brought a bunch of flat earthers to wherever they brought North Pole or something, because
they took them to Antarctica, okay, because they apparently didn't believe in the 24-hour sun or something like that. Mm-hmm.
And
then it happened.
It's actually crazy because they call people shills and stuff, or oh, you're a shill, if they don't believe in the flat earth. I didn't realize.
I remember the guy that did.
It's it's all the same cult. It's all the same language, no matter what the topic is.
Yeah.
Well, if I remember that thing right, it was the same guy who set up an actual experiment to prove that the Earth was flat and not round. And
the rocket guy?
No, not the rocket guy. The guy that did the
shadow thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and they were all this
might be cheating, but I just got a very stupid response to one of my tweets that feels like it should be read.
Okay, well, we'll do that before we go into final thoughts for things, if you want to pop it up or just shout it out.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I can just throw it up there. It's really quick. Still ID. Here. Okay. So this was in response to my tweet. Not breaking news.
It's squeezy as great. Fuck.
So not breaking news. So the person is saying there's a petition for the naked shorting, and I said not breaking news. Naked short selling has been banned in the U.S. since September of 2008. Squeezy said so is murder, but it still exists. Maybe we need to be tougher on crime.
Equivalency, but thank you very much.
Wait. Maybe we need to be tougher on crime and the criminals who ignore the laws we already have in place. Time for them to go to don't drop the prison instead of paying a fine that has less. What? That was less than they made committing the crime. And I said, well, Murder is not an SEC rule violation. It's a crime punishable by death and or prison. There's a difference. In this long past time, you'll all figure that out. They pay fines for violation of a rule. They would go to prison for breaking the law. And
I also gotta love the.
I do agree that the fine should always exceed the amount of money that was made. But the problem is tracking
the
that
fines,
money.
but the fines are set.
That takes a lot of
the fines are
resources.
set. Like it's not like for example, the fine that Doug is fighting the SEC, like it's a $250,000 fine for violation of that rule that they tried to charge him well over 8 figures. Like it was in the millions, and that was the reason that like even after cooperating, even after they were the ones who told the SEC. Like all of that, Gary Gensler in his pursuit to of hating Doug, tried to charge him 8 figures, and these fines are set. Like he just changed it like willy-nilly, which is why he basically said, well, like I'll litigate.
It was also inadvertent.
I'll litigate this.
In
like
that case.
That's fine. I'd rather spend that money on fighting you than give it to you.
So
yeah, I'm talking about like real shit. Like,
but they don't base them. They don't base them on the fines on like what it is. Not that I know of.
So after getting the YouTube votes in, I will reconfirm that Amy did win. We got 1 vote for Amy and 1 vote for Platinum, for a total of 2 for Amy, 1 for Platinum.
Nice.
Next time.
My turn. But anyway, but like this idea, and they say this all the time, right? They all talk about prison. They need to go to prison. They need to go to prison. They need to go to prison.
But it's a civil violation. It's not a criminal violation.
It is a rule violation. It is a civil matter. Like, why don't people understand the difference between civil and criminal? And why don't
they don't want to?
It's so
it's the
weird.
Same problem that number one cuck John
with our immigration
fails to understand, or any of the Project Popcorn baggies for that matter.
Like these are not criminal offenses. Like the SEC Act, Act of 1934 is it's the rules. If you break the rules, there's a fine. You don't go to prison. Like, it's so crazy. And they say this all the time. Like all the time. All these baggies say it.
You go to prison for fraud, which is I think what they're implying, but they just are too dumb to put it into words.
No, I feel like they're talking about naked shorting.
Yeah.
But like even Sabby, who was busted for naked shorting, he's not facing jail time.
Yeah. Because again, it's a civil violation. It's not a
well, the SEC, can't even do criminal complaints.
They can recommend things to the DOJ, but as we have said, the DOJ is not really interested at this point, especially if it's crypto.
This is crazy. Anyway. And like, what was the thing we were reading when? It was the Pulte Depot, when they were like, you said that they should go to prison because they didn't want to be, when Adidas broke the contract with Kanye.
When they dropped Kanye.
He was like, you said that they should go to jail. Like, you don't see the ridiculousness of this? And it's the same thing that all these people do, right? Like, go straight to jail. Like,
didn't they ask him what crime did they commit? Like,
no, I don't think so. I think they were they were trying to just like point on the fact that he makes absurd statements like they deserve to go to jail because they didn't want to be associated with someone who tweets out, "I am a Nazi."
Yeah.
Which is their right to do.
Anyway, so that concludes this episode of the show. We got final thoughts from our crew. Platinum, anything to send us off with for the week?
Not really. Just, have a good weekend. Good luck trading next week. If anyone trades. Take it day by day, really, because you never know. And that's really it.
Or be like, Reddit r/stocks. They put the suicide hotline out there. Please please don't over this. Please,
who did that?
Stocks.
r/stocks on Reddit during the meltdown from the tariffs. They pinned the suicide hotline. Yeah,
they don't want it to be like 87 where they had people jumping off buildings and shit.
Stay frosty, guys.
Yeah.
And hashtag stop the boob hate.
Hashtag stop.
Oh, you stole my final thought.
What?
I was gonna say, you said you stole my final thought, which was please stop hating on Amy's boobs. Like, it's weird. It really is just fucking weird.
Is weird.
Please stop immediately.
Joey, any final thoughts?
No, that was my final thought. That's like,
He's like, that's all I've been thinking about this whole time.
He just wanted to show support.
All right.
Love it.
Like, please stop being weird.
Well,
Joey's like a good bra. Supportive.
All right.
And loves the boobs.
He loves the boobs.
I think that'll do it for this evening.